Black Oni.
This is Solid Snake, and you are now listening to the Black Oni podcast. So pay some damn attention. Damn.
What is going on, everybody? Beautiful, wonderful people of the internet. Whatever it is you're doing and however you're listening and all that good stuff, I just want to take a moment to appreciate and acknowledge the fact that you are here rather than not being here. So thank you for your time, for your energy. And you're probably hearing me twice right now. Let's just make sure that that audio source is not doing anything, because why would it be? All right, better. Bit of an echo. Yeah, we should be good. We good now? We good, chat? We chilling? We popping? We rocking?
You good?
All right, good. Now, before we get into our icebreaker, I just want to take a moment to appreciate our lovely guests that we have on the podcast. So starting with my right, we have the audio lover.
Hey, how y'all doing? What's up, man? You already know, living organism vibrantly expressing reality. And yeah, how you feeling?
Yo, I'm feeling great, man. What do you do? Where can people go get more of you? And how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for today's episode?
First and foremost, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm on like 100. Yeah, like honestly, like it's an amazing episode. We're back. It's been a couple of months. Feeling good, and the energy and the special guests. Oh, listen, the energy is here today.
Hell yeah.
But really quick, just to run down about me, I'm the audio lover, the living organism, vibrantly expressing reality. Shout out to all the lovers out there. I am a content creator that focuses on gaming, sci-fi, tech, and futurism. I'm also part of the Black Twitch Collective, which is basically a collective of individuals on Clubhouse. We've been starting up, bringing in individuals, helping them get their stream up off the ground, teaching them the ropes, those kinds of things. And pretty much that's what I do right now, man. I got a couple of videos coming out this week on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube at The Audio Lover, Instagram, Twitter, and Clubhouse at The Audio Lover. Check me out.
Dope. And right underneath, we have IR528. Oh, hello.
That's me.
Yeah. So, same thing. Who are you? What do you do? Where can people go find you? And on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, man. You've probably heard me as Ivan, a.k.a. Mr. Worldwide. Wrestling nerd. Just, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And because of this podcast, especially the one with David Hayter, I am now officially a voice actor. After that nudge you gave me on that episode, I have that label. I got a role. So thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you for that.
Congrats.
Yeah. And
congrats, man.
We're gonna follow that up with our next guest in a second, but please continue. Please continue.
Oh, hey, you could find me everywhere at IR528. It's 2 letters, 3 numbers. Not that hard. Just that's it. That's it.
I like that. That's a good one. 2 letters, 3 numbers.
And then last but not least, we have our special guest for today's episode, Mekel Kasanova. Say what
is good? Aloha, everyone. Mekel Kasanova. Honored to be on the show. Black Oni, what's good? How you living, man? How's everything where you at?
Oh man, I'll go into detail more, but it's crazy. But you know, let us. We're going to slide into our icebreaker and then also into our interview with you to learn more about you, because we had an opportunity to play a bunch of times already. And I was on your podcast, so I want to give that special treatment to you as well, because you deserve it, man. But
I appreciate it.
Tell the people who you are, what you do, and where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
Oh, man, I'm shy. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm kidding. So I'm Mekel Kasanova. I'm a Hawaii content creator, host of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. I interview a lot of video game voice actors, video game industry, tech people, tech industry, content creators such as Black Oni and many others. And generally just all about having organic conversations and trying to effectively, it started out with me trying to bridge the gap between Hawaii and the rest of the gaming sphere. But it's just kind of morphed into just being my own little thing. And then, you know, I review games and tech, and I just have a good time trying to get, you know, more consistent with streaming. It's hard to do that when we're busy, but we do what we do. So
love it. And y'all already know it's your boy Black Oni. I'm really excited to bring this show to you all. But the first thing we're going to do, leading into the rest of the podcast, is special shout out to the audio lover for putting together this agenda. I asked him if he was okay with doing that, and he was like, yo, I got you. He just put some stuff together. All of it is stuff that makes sense to talk about. So I'm really, really looking forward to talking about this and also hearing from chat, because we already have a bunch of people in chat right now. We just started the stream. For those of y'all listening on the archive, you're going to be listening to this probably on Monday. But we're on Sunday right now, so you can catch it live on twitch.tv/BlackOni whenever there's a new episode. But shout out real quick to Nightmare Gorilla, Hikari Kanzaki, and Ivan's here.
That's me.
He's in the chat too, but there are other people in the chat, but I know that they're lurking right now, so I'm gonna let them lurk, because lurking is an important part of the culture that we have here. But with that said, let's give our streams Black salute, because it's Black History. It's still Black History Month, so just give us one person that you watch who's a Black creator that you'd like to give them their roses. And we can start. I feel like we should start with Audio, since he's the one who put the question in.
Yeah, no, it's cool. You know, right now I gotta shout out the Black Twitch collective, honestly. And that goes for Push Play the DJ to Pac-Man Gaming and Tall Bruv, Ali and Mo the girls, as well as SB Scorsese. They definitely helped me out. All those people definitely helped me out, improve and grow, and actually even helped me out to get to affiliate. So I definitely got to shout those people out, because they definitely showed me a lot of different things as far as streaming and what to do, what not to do. And I also got to shout you out, man. Like,
I stole my
if I can't, like, honestly, like, yo, Black Oni is like one of the first people to like honestly come through and hold me down, and we just mesh, like just talk, like not even on some stream and stuff, just regular like bros, and honestly it's like, yo, it's been an honor to even be on this podcast, honestly.
I really appreciate that, first and foremost. I'm really glad we had an opportunity to meet in person, because it was definitely another one of those. Yeah, I've known you for a while, man. This don't feel weird at all. Like this is just a normal situation. So I really appreciate that, and I'm really glad to see that you're continuing on the journey too, and having any kind of part of that means a lot to me. So thank you, man.
Thank you.
I want to bounce off that, and because he kind of stole mine there, but for good reason. Because, man, if you saw my stats from the whole end of the year 2020 thing, my most watch time was you and Kesa. Like, you know, we keep a tight group, you know, bring people up. So, like, a shout out to you, because you deserve it, dude.
Damn.
That's who I've been watching. You, Kesa, everyone in the group that we all know. That's where my watch time is going. I try to be everywhere, even though I don't talk. I'm everywhere, and the watch time proves that.
Yes.
You guys were like #1 there. I was just like, you know, I'm trying to be everywhere. I'm always make time for that.
Man.
Show.
I didn't plan for this to be a thing. I was just trying to see what y'all was going to say about other people. Appreciate y'all.
Get used to it.
I want to say what's up to all my Black Twitch collective. They all in the chat right now. What's up? We see y'all, man.
Y'all rolling deep right now. I see y'all. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for that love, y'all. Before we ask the question to our hot seat guest, I must say, obviously, so for those of y'all at home who don't know, actually, all three of our guests here today are Black creators, and I've watched all of them many times. All right. And I want to give them their roses as well. But one of the people that I want to give my roses to the most is, well, he's not a content creator anymore. He is on the kind of opposite side of things, where he's working with influencers, he's working with management, and working with companies and studios. Andy Lunique. He is the person who catapulted my journey in streaming to the where it is. You know, I met some of the people that I still play with and interact with and collaborate with to this day through Andy, and we had a really natural and long, it has been long prophesized that us meeting would have been a thing. So I want to give my roses to him, because without him, a lot of what I do today wouldn't be to the caliber that it is today. And it wouldn't, you know, I would probably not have taken streaming as seriously as I did when I started. So shout out to him. He's a brother to me, and he's an amazing human being. He just had a baby. And that baby is so fucking damn cute. Oh my God. But yeah, also to the audio lover, to IR528, to Mekel Kasanova. I've had a lot of important and amazing conversations with all three of them, and I'm honored to have you all be excited to be on the show. Like, real talk. You know, it's a, when I first started podcasting, I worried that there wouldn't be people interested in being guests on the show, and this was, you know, 5 years ago. And even from the start, there were people who at least showed some interest in being a part of it. And we're on episode 94 now, which is almost 100. We took a lot of breaks on a podcast because I had been handling pretty much all of the everything with regards to that. And so it wasn't until probably last year that Audio Lover started doing some agendas for us, which has taken a huge burden off of me, because, you know, I'm doing production, doing the like uploading everything, doing all the graphics, getting the hosts and the guests together. Yeah. So with that said, I'm gonna shut up and let Mekel give us his answer.
Well, I was gonna say, man, I got three people I want to give a shout out to. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to you, man. Like, honestly, like, since we connected last year, like, honestly, you've been like family to me, man. Like, I told you, when you come out here to Hawaii, you got a place to stay. You right next to Waikiki. But like, on some real talk though, man, like, I appreciate you having me on the show. I appreciate you coming on mine. Just what you're doing, the influence, you know, the hard work, just seeing you grind. It's inspiring to me, and you know, it motivates me to keep going forward. You know, just, and the advice, you know, gave me some really good advice recently, and that's helped get me back in gear when I fell out of gear. So
shout out to Uriah really too.
That was number two. Shout out to Uriah, aka Andrew Alliance, man. Much love, brother. Just for years, that's been my dude. Just honestly, always talking to me, helping me be better with podcasting as a person, you know, and just better at expressing myself. So much love to you, Uriah. And shout out to Hip Hop Gamer, like, just for blazing the trail for years, you know, just inspiring and putting me on to some wisdom recently. So shout out to y'all.
Real talk. Yo, thank you for that. That was a beautiful way to start today's show, because we're going to jump right into our interview section, which is an opportunity for us to learn more about the one and only Mekel Kasanova, and for my audience to learn more, because we've had him on the channel before. We were playing Street Fighter with Uriah, who claimed that he was no good at Street Fighter, and then comes in here and starts beating on me and shit. Like, all right. But the very first question I have for you, Mekel, is what was the very first game that you played that made you decide, I'm going to be a gamer? This is it. This is my shit.
Oh, easy. Double Dragon NES. Ooh, the worst Double Dragon, but that was the one. Okay. That was the one that just, you know, I remember back in the day, like, playing that. God, that was like 89, 90. And it was just, it got me into gaming, got me into martial arts. Like, that And anytime I talk to someone about Double Dragon, they're like, "That's the worst one." I know it is, but I love it. I'm sentimental about that one.
Were you into the show first or the movie first, or
no, the game first, the original NES game, and then my brothers took me to the arcade, put me on the milk crates, and let me play the arcade version. I got hooked on that, and the original Street Fighter, which is also trash, to Street Fighter 2. So,
right, that's true. Yeah, that's awesome. So, what was it about that game that made you that drew you in? Like what is it about the game, or even the genre, because there were other beat 'em up style games like that kind of proceeded afterwards?
I think it was just I felt it was so easy to pick up and play. And like my brothers were big Bruce Lee fans and big fans of like Fist of the North Star. And so like we had the Japanese version of it, not the American one. So like I was looking at the art, the art style on the case and in the manual, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And they're like, yes, that's like Fist of the North Star meets Game of Death meets, and I just was enamored with it. And then we got the Japanese version of Double Dragon 2: The Revenge, and I loved the artwork even more. And then when we got the American version, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Sounds cool. But it's really the art style that just hooked me in. The story, which I felt like was kind of a ripoff of, what is it, Streets of Fire, the movie back in the day. So, but I don't know. I just it drew me in, and it just, the beat 'em up genre just always was my go-to. Okay. Although I gotta say, Streets of Rage, particularly Streets of Rage 2 and Streets of Rage 4, are still the best beat 'em ups out there.
I would agree that those were great games. Would you say that you're still a fan of the genre then? Or is it, do you have a different genre that kind of defines you as a gamer?
Right now I would say the action RPG genre is where I'm at. Like, as much as I love beat 'em ups, and I always go back and play them, it's just action RPGs like Final Fantasy 15 I feel is really, really good. Well, once they gave us all the content with it, it's even better.
The whole story.
yeah. So that's really good. And then I like historical type of action type of games like Ghost of Tsushima, like Assassin's Creed. Those are where I find myself like diving into more these days. But give me a good RPG or action RPG, I'm sold.
Yeah, that's sick. And obviously everyone starts from somewhere, right? You have your own podcast that you started, as well as your own content, your YouTube channel, as well as your Twitch channel. What made you decide to start that, to bring your love of gaming over to creating content for it?
Number of things. The main one for me was seeing Hip Hop Gamer just constantly putting out content, streaming, making YouTube videos. And I was always like I was always looking at that like, man, I'd love to do that. Until like one day, my mom, like, shout out to her, she's like, well, baby, why don't you go ahead and just do it? Just do it. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I started dabbling in it a little bit. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand how to operate OBS, but I taught myself that. And, as I was going on that journey of trying to figure it out and get used to it, I had a lot of opposition, especially out here in Hawaii, with a lot of people out here just saying like it's too late, never make it, your stuff's crappy. And it was really from other content creators and streamers out here for the longest. So I'm the type of person where if you tell me I can't do something, it's fuel for me to go and do it, and not just do it, but do it better than you think I can, and better than anyone else in my anyone in my view. So it just motivated me to keep going and going. Like, I got better gear. I learned how to use what I had. I learned video editing, podcasting. Like I just dived in, and then it got to the point where my wife's like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do that too. I'm gonna dive in and do it too. And so we've both been doing this for years and learning from each other and growing, and then it just took on a life of its own, whereas I'm at a point now where creating content's like breathing. Like I can't imagine not doing it,
Yeah, I totally understand that sentiment.
I feel that.
What do you feel is your ultimate goal when it comes to the content that you create? I don't know, it's a really loaded question, but however you want to answer that question, whether it's from a surface level or a deeper level, I'm happy with either of those answers.
Oh, I love those kind of questions, man. Those are the spice of life.
Oh yeah.
The ultimate goal for me is honestly just leaving my mark on this industry, proving that someone from out here in Hawaii can actually make it in the bigger scope of the rest of the world. And also, there are not a lot of us Black creators out here or mixed Black creators out here in Hawaii that are actually creating content, and there's so much pushback we get out here, and I want to be someone who can break through that barrier and help others. Like someone wants to get into podcasting, they want to get into YouTube, they want to get into streaming, they want to learn how to work with companies, they want to learn how to reach out to people. I want to be that person that's like, yeah, I got you, let's work, let's do this. So I mean, that's it for me. Like all the fame, the fortune, all that stuff, like if it happens, cool. I doubt it for myself, but that ain't the motivating factor. It's just, how can I pay it forward? How can I help someone else? That's my ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm. What has been the most rewarding part of doing what you do, whether it's podcasting, whether it's video reviewing, whether it's just gaming with people you love? What has been the most rewarding?
Meeting content creators and people that I've always looked up to, meeting a lot of my heroes, becoming friends with a lot of people, becoming friends with you, Uriah, my best friend is Ruben Langdon, who does Dante. I was a fan of his for 20 years and never thought that would become my best friend. Like that's just crazy.
Yeah,
you need to have him on your show.
Yeah, I'm planning on it. I'll go into detail about what I've been up to later, but you've been seeing.
but yeah, man, it's just meeting people from around the world. Like, it's amazing. And like in the context, again, I keep bringing it back to Hawaii, just because no one out here is doing that. Like Hawaii is so focused on Hawaii that, people here ignore the rest of the world. Like it's insignificant. And it's like, nah, we have and this is not offense to anyone from Hawaii, but we're a dot on the globe. There's a whole world. We don't have to just limit ourselves to here. And it's just meeting people from Europe, Australia, from Africa, from Japan. Like it's just amazing. Yeah. And all through the power of the internet.
Yeah. These are facts. What has been the hardest part of what you do? What has been the thing that has made you? I kind of don't want to ask this, because we did talk about it, but I don't want to delve too deep. And I'm gonna say it anyway. What has been the aspect that has made you reconsider content creation?
Ooh.
Yeah. You don't have to use any names if you don't want to use those names.
No. Well, yeah, I'll avoid using names because I don't want any fire coming this way. But dealing with content creators has been the one area that has honestly made me often reconsider. And like, if it wasn't, my wife will even tell you, if you ever ask her, like, if it wasn't for that talk I had with you and Uriah, I was really at a point of being done. Like, you know, it's great in meeting so many different content creators and other people I look up to on YouTube, on Twitch, who many are cool. A lot of others will present themselves a certain way for the clicks, the likes, the retweets, and can be some of the most, you know, I'm not gonna swear here, but you know what I mean.
Use whatever words you want to use, my guy.
Okay. You know, some of the most fucked up individuals. It's just like I recently I interviewed a content creator that's almost at 1 million subs on YouTube, and the whole interview, which I had to edit all that shit out, where he was just putting me down over and over and over. Like, oh, so I saw that intro. How much did you pay for them to give you some clout? Oh, I saw, you know, you did this, and this. How did you get that connection? Like, you know, who did you kiss up to get this? Like, oh, you do this all on your own? It shows. Like, just
hell no.
There's so much of it, and I just hate the idea that it's so dog eat dog or crabs in the bucket with a lot of people. When you look at the back end of stuff, there's more than enough opportunity for everyone to eat.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got to be the ones, you know, putting the food on the table for everyone, but there's more than enough for everyone to get theirs and be successful, and we can work together. But just a lot of people have this mentality. They got to put somebody else down to get somewhere else. Or in the case of, like, there was a YouTuber who was with IGN who plagiarized a certain game that got viral, and I was one of the people he plagiarized because he did an arcade fight stick the day after I put up my video, took most of my footage, and there was a collective of YouTubers, especially in the Nintendo Switch area, who told me I better not say anything. But Boomstick Gaming goes and says something, he blows up, and people find out that the person who ripped his content, you know, they canceled him. Boomstick blew up. No offense to him, he's a great content creator, but it's like, when that happened to me, I was told to shut up. So I got dirt on a lot of people. So it's just,
Talk, man. I respect it.
It's the dark side of things.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah.
It really, again, I just mentioned it in the chat, but it doesn't make sense how. Fortunately, I haven't had this problem too much in that sense, but it's also just crazy to me that there are so many people who are willing to just walk over other people or like shit on other people to try to get whatever clout that they can. Like, even if this, I don't really have a problem with a lot of people like that, but even if there was, like, I'm not gonna go publicly be like, yo, blah blah blah, yada yada. It's like, you can still protect people, like protect other people from other people without necessarily dragging them, you know. And for some reason, people choose not to go that route. They choose not to understand it. It's a weird situation to be in. But you know, something else that a lot of people don't know about you as well is, you know, some of the trials and tribulations that you went through to get here. You know, you used to be in IT, you used to run a full-time job, and you made that transition to really just living and pursuing things with your passion. Tell us a little bit about what that journey was like that transition from corporate to creative, and then, like, you know, I don't want to bring up something that you don't want to talk about necessarily, but, like, you know, being a survivor, right?
Yeah. No, we do. We can talk about it. Ain't nothing off the table.
Okay.
We good. So all right. So for those who may not know, I used to have, well, within 2 weeks, I should be 5 weeks in remission and cancer free fully. I had colorectal cancer. It runs. My dad's gone through it twice. One of my brothers went through it. One of my other brothers went through it and passed away from it. And when I went through it, which was about, almost 5 years ago, I was told that I probably would make it. And one of the other factors of me going into content creating was that I didn't want to have regrets. I wanted to push through, do everything I can, because I worked at a hospital. I was IT in a hospital. I go and set up, your Cisco phones. I did, admin work on the back end, and going into different hospital rooms and looking at how to set up the phones and the network, talking to people that are, that they don't have much longer left to live. And you're always hearing, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. I wish I had more time for this. And then, getting the news yourself that, well, damn, you probably got a year left. You can go through chemo radiation, but it may not, work out for you. So what I ended up doing was, I went through the chemo radiation and I kept working my full-time job. I was working 16, 17-hour days, 6 days a week, and 7 days on the 6 hours or 7 hours on the 7th day, around the clock. And when I get off, I would go and do my content full-time. I was making, my YouTube videos. I was doing my podcast. I was doing everything that I generally could, because I was like, this is it. This is all I got. I want to make my, do the most I can in my life. I want to make my wife happy. I want to make my mom happy and proud of me more than anything. And basically prove that I had value. Like, I'm not just here and gone at the blink of an eye. Like, I did something with my life. And just, man, going through, a lot of people don't understand like what going through chemo radiation is like. So I used to be skinny. Going through that, you swell up, things don't function the way they used to. And I'm saying many things. Well, not that still functioned, but everything.
Well,
everything else.
Blessed for that, right?
But I gained a lot of weight, and you lose a lot of your energy, constantly being tired. Maybe you're more hungry, maybe you're less hungry. Your hair starts falling out. Like I remember I told you once before, like, man, I wish I could, I had my hair fairly long and I was gonna dread it. I wish I could do what you're doing, but going through the radiation, my hair just started to fall out, and I'm like, well, I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing else.
Yeah.
So I just, I adopted to, the bald-headed, bald and beautiful lifestyle. So I'm over there with that. And going from, making that decision to go full-time was pretty much being in a situation where, for those who, I'm not sure how many people have been in corporate America, but there's a lot of politics, a lot of ass kissing in corporate America, and who is someone's favorite, who's kissing up to who. And I was that one person in IT that just didn't kiss up to anyone. Like, if something's wrong, I tell you what's wrong. If we need something else, I'm not going to cut corners or cut budget costs. No, we need this, and this is why we need it.
Yeah.
And so it was a situation that happened, and I vividly remember the day. It was September 2nd, 2019, and I set up a brand new clinic on the west side of the island. I'm on Oahu, so the west side, and I can't even remember the name. The west side of the island. So I set up a clinic, and I had a director who, I don't know how she got the job because she didn't know what the hell she was doing. I told her, do not turn on the phone line, because myself and my boss, we need to test the lines and make sure everything routes the way it needs to route. And for whatever reason, she decided, because she just is stupid, she turned it on, and turned it on when we had patients and no calls for routing. And so I couldn't remote in from home and fix it because, you know, I got Spectrum internet and they go down every other 2 minutes. Hopefully not during this show. But then when I couldn't do anything here, I went to my office, and then the whole building's down. We ain't got no internet there again because of Spectrum. Hopefully, you know. So then I had to go all the way out to the west side, which took, you know, like an hour. I got there, and then she's over there like throwing a fit, going crazy, and I'm like, well, I told you. And I said this in front of her boss and people higher than her. I said, this is not on me. I told you not to turn it on. I told you what my boss and I were going to do. You decided to turn on these lines before they were fully tested and finalized, and you screwed up all the lines, not only for here, but for 7 other clinics. And there's only me and my boss. We're the team. So, I got asked by her. She pulled me away from her higher ups and asked me if I would, you know, if I just take the fall, because she can't afford to be blamed for it. Oh. She wanted me to take the fall. And I'm like, well, what all would that entail? She said, well, you would get a final notice right up. You probably get demoted, probably get a pay cut. I'm like, well, the hell with that. I'm not doing it.
Whoa. Excuse me?
And so, yes.
So all
yes.
the no, like hell.
Going
down the list is just nope.
Right. Yeah, like for real.
Here, bro.
Right. So I that was not happening. And so she's like, well, if you don't do, you know, either you do this or else. I'm like, well, I'll take the or else, because I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I've never once, because on top of that, so I was a senior systems analyst over telephony and networking. I was the first ever Black IT analyst in that company in Hawaii ever. So I was blazing a whole bunch of trails with that because the company doesn't HPH does not often try to hire Black individuals for IT or any position in that company for whatever reason. So I was the first one that they ever hired. And so, you know, I just I wasn't going to tarnish my name or my work for her. And she had a history of just throwing people under the bus. So that was on a Friday. I think was that Friday? It was a Wednesday or a Thursday. I think it was a Thursday. And then I came back in Friday, and she had me go to her office, and she's demanding I take the fall again. I told her no, she can take her demand and shove it. And so I went back to my work, came back on Monday, and found my entire, like, my office cleared.
Wow.
My office cleared. And I'm like, where's my stuff? She's like, oh, well, we had it moved off site. You know, because you know, we don't want you causing problems here. So I was like, okay. All right, well, let me go over there. So I went and set up at the off-site location. And then when I came back later on that day to go get something else, because I need to get some at the one of the call centers I oversaw, which is where she was the director of. So I went there to oversee that. And I went over to I need to go to another spot on that same floor. And then my badge wasn't working. And she had my accesses removed. Oh. So every day I went in, it kept getting worse. And I told my wife this. I'm like, babe, this is not getting better. This is getting worse. And I'm afraid they're going to try to put me in a position where some was going to happen and I'm going to get fired. Because it's my word versus them. And there's a whole lot of them is one of me. And I'm the wrong shade of color too. So it went to a point where, and this is very interesting, like I was the only guy in, you know, department. When I would go to that department, I was the only guy with a whole lot of women that were working there. And then I had one come up to me that was right up under that director she was kind of weird friendly. And it was that unnatural weird friendly. And I wasn't comfortable with it. So I just made sure I stayed somewhat public where like nothing could be said or done. Then the next thing I'm told is like, oh, you were inappropriate with this person.
Wow.
So So I told my wife about that, and she's like, quit now before they fire you, because this is too many things in the course of 5 days, back to back to back. Every day you go in, it's getting worse. So I quit. I gave him my operation, and it's funny. Then the director and then the telephony director got mad, and they're like, "Well, you can't quit." I'm like, "What do you mean I can't quit?" Because we invested this money into you, into your training. I'm like, "Yeah."
That doesn't mean
I'm
you
leaving.
own me.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm leaving. And so
you train me so I can be better at the job I'm doing for you.
right?
Right. Nah, keep going.
This needs to be a show or movie or something.
Yo, this is gonna be its own separate upload, bro. This is some bullshit.
Like, I've been keeping myself on mute to listen, but like, bro, for real.
So it got to a point where like, so they ended up saying to me that, like, you signed a contract. And I was like, yes, I did. I signed a contract 7 years ago when I took this position, when I took the promotion. So then they were like, well, if you quit, you're gonna have to pay us back 10 grand for the training that we put you through when we flew you to the mainland. I said, no, you can't do that, because the stipulation, the probation period of you going into an analyst position with this company is you have to do minimum 2 years. I've been with this company for a decade. I think I could be wrong, but I'm like, I think I went beyond that 2 year period, especially when I took the promotion about 6-7 years ago. So, yeah, so I quit. And then I was getting emails. I still had emails. I got emails, phone calls, where basically they were just politely threatening to take legal action against me to get that 10 grand back. So I was like, no, yeah, y'all can shove it. So when I quit that, I didn't have a plan at all. And my wife's like, just do content. And I'm mad, dude. I was making bank. Even, I mean, I'm doing okay now, but I was making bank. You know, like it was hard just diving into it. I was like, okay, well, I was making 6 figures. Real talk. I was making like 170-something thousand a year.
Yo, shout out to Black Excellence making that money. Let's go. Let's go.
So, it was, especially, I didn't have a background in IT. I kind of fell into it. And because that was the other thing that I always got crap from other people in the company, because they were like, oh, so what's your degree in? Computer science? I'm like, no, I actually got a degree in marketing. Well, the hell are you doing in this department? You're unqualified to be here. What do you know? They're like, shouldn't you be out there rapping? Yeah, I got a lot of that. There's a lot of racism in Hawaii, especially in that company. So I went through a lot, but at the end, the way I looked at it, they had to pay me. They hated me, but they paid me. So going into content creating, deciding to ramp up with the podcast, deciding to ramp up with streaming and with YouTube, my thoughts were exactly, Uriah, more money, more problems. That's true, especially in the corporate environment. But my thoughts were, I got to give this my all, because I got nothing else. Because there's really, unless you're going into the DOD, there's nothing else out here in Hawaii that pays what I was making. And for the first, I want to say from like the rest of September until like February of last year, man, my wife and I, we were in the red. We were struggling. And it was hard, trying to grind, trying not to get demotivated. At one point, I even took up a part-time job just to help with the bills until things started taking off and going. And I mean, I'm not like I said, I'm not making bank. I'm clearing the bills, and that's all that's important to me. But it was hard. It was hard. I mean, walking away from that check was hard. I'm just trying to tell you. That was not easy.
Shit, that don't sound easy.
Man, I'm over there typing up my I quit letter, and my resignation. I'm over here crying like, that check though.
I want some upgrades to my crib.
Right?
Yeah. It's real. It's real.
But yeah. So
shit. Well, that kind of leads into the rest of our podcast, because as you've come through. By the way, if y'all have more questions, feel free to ask those questions, and we'll have space at the end of the podcast for viewers to ask questions. So get your questions ready for the end of the stream, end of the podcast, I should say. But one question that we did see from someone already was, why didn't you take legal action?
Oh, I did. I did.
That's all he's gonna say.
That's all I can say. That last check of bank that I made went towards hiring an attorney, and let's just say that payment that I got from them because they wanted to settle, I was like, F that. No, y'all paying. I ain't settling. Took them, won the case. Can't really talk about details, but Shade Room, I recorded everything. I recorded. When I say I got dirt on content creators that gave me crap, I got dirt on all them people. I recorded everything. And when we went to court and they're like, settle, I'm like, settle with what? But you said this. What?
I got this shit in writing.
After all the mind game of like within the span of 5 days going through all that stuff, I'm glad you did, because they're messing with your money, they're messing with you up here, like just no.
They're messing with your livelihood, man. Your whole livelihood, your whole rep, like that's you. They messing with you, your brand.
Like,
yep.
I can't imagine that. Dealing with stuff on a smaller scale with just like jobs out here, that I could never. So like, fucking props to you for making it out of that situation.
Yeah,
that's why I say out here in Hawaii they talk about aloha, but that's the surface level. There's a lot under that. There's a lot of racism from a lot of folks out here, and it's sad. It's sad to see it. And part of that lawsuit, that lawsuit, I had a lot of recordings of some slurs thrown at me, and people didn't know that they were being recorded. So I was like, yeah. So my advice is, if you in corporate America, protect yourself.
Protect your neck.
Protect the neck.
Oh man, it's one of those things where you wish and hope that things are good and better in the world, but you can really only do so much on your own before you just got to protect your neck. That's what it is. That's what it is. But yo, shout out to you, Mekel, especially for continuing through all of the bullshit. Shout out to you for doing that. And I'm really glad that we had an opportunity to showcase to our audience, who you are, where you came from, and your story, because everyone has a story, whether you're a viewer, whether you're a content creator, whether you're both, whether you're the person making these games. And this is actually going to lead into our next topic specifically, because I want to give it some context to this next thing. But everyone has a story, and there's always something behind the scenes that's happening that we don't always get a chance to hear about. So I appreciate you being transparent about all of that, but also giving us you.
Yeah.
But now that we've had a chance to learn a little something about Mekel, let's get into the rest of the podcast, which is Anthem 2.0.
Potential.
Who?
said, I ain't got enough alcohol for this.
Who?
I'm gonna take this last little gulp. I mean, I got some Baba Queen in the freezer, but that's for later. You know what? First and foremost, and I hope you're listening, Dream. Because listen, I got this game for you. I got this Dream. Yes, I'm calling them out. Like, y'all know what I'm about.
I saw the Twitter thing.
Y'all know what it is. So I want it documented. But no, Dream's fam. That's fam.
That's fam.
But honestly, man, Anthem. Who would have thought?
I don't want to say nothing, but the day it got announced, I was like, I called it. Everyone was playing the demo and everything. I was just like,
All right. So let's unpack that real quick. Let's unpack that. What was it for you? Well, okay, but sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. You were in the middle of saying something else, audio lover. I want you to finish that thought, and then Ivan, I want you to unpack what you meant by that.
I'll keep it simple.
Okay,
but yeah.
So Anthem was supposed to be that game. I'm sorry. When did Anthem come out? 2019? 2019. It had to be 2019.
Right before the shitstorm. That's 2020.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was right after God of War. And I only buy like one game a year that's brand new out of the box. Like I get one game that I pay $60 for, and everything else has to be on sale. So that was the one game that year. And mind you, like I think Mortal Kombat 11 came, like mad stuff.
Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter was a big one that was kind of similar to that one too.
Came out.
Yeah.
In 2019. So I had to pick one game, and then like I was like, all right, but I need something I want to play with, people with. So Dream was like, yeah, like we're gonna get on. We played the demo together. So I'm like, all right, I'm kind of messing with it, but the demo was like, the demo, and I should have stuck with my gut. The demo wasn't it. Like that game just didn't feel right. And I know like only you talked about this game a lot too, like how you didn't like the mechanics, you didn't like the flying, I believe.
No, fucking.
That was one of my biggest complaints. Absolutely.
Bro, it was so weird, the delay, and like you would go this way, and it's just like
they just
this is flying.
They like I mentioned this in a lot of other games. There are blueprints for how to do the shit. All you gotta do is just look at what they did with a different game that's trying. Warframe, for example, they have a whole arcing system for flying in an open world. Just look at what they did with that and do it in your game and add to it. They're like, nah, let's just do some totally different shit. Let's completely revamp the way people think about flying. Let's limit how much they can fly. Let's make a cooldown system, but a cooldown system that only activates when you're going down rather than turning your thrusters off.
Yes.
And then let's make it unresponsive. Let's just
you're kind of getting my points out there. Yeah.
It's like, what are y'all?
That's why I have a problem when people say like, oh, they're copying this, they're copying that. No, you want these games to learn from others. So if they're copying something and if they're doing something right, let them copy. It's okay.
Yes.
Except for story.
As long as they
Except
do it
for story. Yes.
Story, yeah, that's just plagiarism,
Yeah.
Like,
Characters don't do that. Yeah.
There's an honor system with there. But like, game mechanics and just everything else. If they copy it and they do it good, because again, they already laid the blueprints down. All you have to do is just take that, add to it. But when you fuck it up, that's on you.
That is.
Also, it's EA. Yeah, go ahead, audio love.
No, oh my God, don't do that to EA.
Well, all right. So
I love EA.
This is that thing I wanted to remind y'all about, though, because there are people behind these studios. There are people who, passionately worked their brains out to make these games. So I want to take a moment to acknowledge that and to say, like, hey, we love and appreciate the work that you put into this game. But
EA.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, the only thing that Anthem had going for it, like this is like one of the, I don't know if it's a rarity, but like this is, for me, it's a rarity. But like the story in Anthem, granted, I don't feel like it translated well because it was a co-op. they definitely created like a single player type of story for a co-op game. And I know that kind of may not make sense, but it's like they want you to be immersed in this world, but then you just want to go out and shoot shit with your boys or with your peoples. You know what I mean? Like, I remember like all the writing in this game was dope as hell. Like, they had freaking audio dramas playing on the radio. Like, if you heard the audio dramas playing on the radio, it's like elaborate, full-on dramas, and it's like a whole series. They had like, you know, lore writing, that like the conversations of this game. It was dope. Like,
they built a good world.
They built an amazing world, and I'm like starting to like get into world building myself. So like I'm like really understanding more of what's going on in this game. But like as far as game mechanics, it's like holy crap, bro! Like y'all built a really good world, but y'all like maybe y'all could have made this a television show.
It, like I'm showing gameplay right now of Anthem and like how you're like walking through the bazaar,
The very beginning,
and like the game just looked nothing the fuck like this.
Nah,
nothing. Like from a visual standpoint, but also from like a actual interaction standpoint, it was nothing like this. And this shit was a lie. Straight up. It was just nothing like that. Like the fact that like you went from there and went straight into the mission, that was even a lie. That's not how the shit happened. Being able to see your character's face when you're about to go out there, that was also a lie. You didn't get to see your character's face after you created them. Terrible character creator. And even with that, you couldn't see yourself again. Like there were so many things wrong with this.
You should not have character creation if you're not going to see your own player. Right. Get that straight.
Right.
Please get that so straight.
Ooh.
Me and my friend Platano have a funny thing that we always say to each other. I've known him for years. We always had a joke about blame Ubisoft, because Ubisoft would do shit like that. You know, like Rainbow Six Siege, that whole dropping from a helicopter and everything. It wasn't anything like that, and it's still not. But it's great now. Oh, who would have thought?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you don't.
But they didn't let that game die. They listened to feedback. They kept changing and they kept improving from there. And they believed in their vision enough to take that risk again.
That's why we don't say that no more. We say blame EA. We took that saying. We said, all right, Ubisoft, you improved. So we either say blame 2K or blame EA.
Yeah.
One of those two is okay.
If it wasn't for COVID, that this game would have been like, it would have still been canceled.
Yes.
Because they blamed it on COVID. Pretty much, that's what they did.
Yeah.
But they're making 2 other games during COVID.
No, COVID.
So why are you blaming COVID?
Because they want something to blame it on. Like, to be fair,
because they want to be done. Guys, let's be straight up. You know, they've been dwelling on this. They've been sitting in the meeting rooms. First of all, sometimes I want to know what goes in those meeting rooms, because when they come up with these ideas and we're like, yo, how can you mess this up? We want to know what goes on in the meeting rooms when they come up with this idea, and they were like, how do you approve that?
Yo, when they said that they were meeting later that week for the fate of Anthem, I was like, it's canceled. Just say it's canceled.
It's done. Listen, we want you guys to move on too. We want to move on. Just
like y'all know
let it die. If you love something, just you know,
like y'all know what the verdict is. Like why y'all was keeping us in suspense? And then they're like later this week, but they didn't tell us.
I was really in suspense.
Like,
so I wanted to bring something up that I'm trying to find video footage of this. I remember watching E3 maybe 2 years ago or 1 year ago. I don't remember which one it was. And the creative director for this project, and by the way, all between this time, there were people leaving that team as time was going on. So this was already alluding to the fact that this shit was just gone. I had seen an interview where there was like the lead designer and someone else on the project as well. I don't remember who it was. They were on stage at E3. It might have been IGN E3 coverage or Twitch E3 coverage. I can't remember which one it was. Where you remember that interview with Henry Cavill and what's his name, Batman, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
And like how Henry was just like talking about it, and Ben was just like. Like that was happening in this interview. And it was like everything was alluding to the fact that this shit was fucked. It was proper fuck. Like I wish I could find this footage. It is so funny. But also it's so tragic because from my own work that I do on my own shit, I know how much work goes into doing this stuff. And to see that they didn't listen to whatever happened there, they didn't listen to feedback enough. I gave them feedback. Whenever I play betas, I usually make a video about it or stream it, and then that's it. I went on their forums and gave them feedback to fix shit. And that I'm only one person. I'm not like the holy messiah of fucking gaming or anything, but like there were other people doing the same thing. Like the information was there.
I remember I did too. That was one of the at that time I lost respect for EA because of what they did with the whole pushing Battlefield 1 over Titanfall 2, and I knew a couple people who worked on Titanfall 2 who was kind of silently saying that EA fucked up big time, and it seemed like they were kind of going the same route. And I remember that was one of the few games I tried.
I'm mad about that.
You know about that too? Okay.
Yes. Titanfall 2.
That's a whole other. Yeah, just that was one of the few games I tried. I was like, let me give this shit a chance.
Yeah,
I played it. I was like, I wasted 2 hours of my life with that, and then I did the survey because you had to. I signed up to like get in, and then they gave the survey, whether it was through email or right after, where they had the pop-up thing. I don't know. It was when they were testing out their Origin like experimental thing. And that's how we got in. And that was one of the feedbacks like that I actually took part of. And I hoped other people did too, but it just seemed like they just took it and just we move.
Yeah.
Wait, so all right, I found I think I found the interview.
It's gonna be hilarious.
Hold on.
If they're just staring off into space, I can't help but just
yeah. All right, so this is from a content creator called the Haddock Banker. I don't know anything about him, but this is the only thing I was able to find. EA, hold on, me to EA Play Anthem 2019. Let's see if that shows up better, because it's like a cut. Okay, here we go. I think this is it.
That was like beginning 2019, right? That was like the early 2019. That feels so long ago. To think that's only like.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I'm gonna just play this video because this EA's Anthem segment makes everyone depressed. That was the title of this.
I laughed because I was right.
All right, and this is Greg Miller, right? So I'm gonna turn it up a little bit.
Of course, we're going to come to EA Play. We've got a booth out there with lots of fans coming through to play it. But really, the big thing for us
I
this year is
remember
working with our
this.
influencers and game changers. We have our new update.
Yo, all of them in the background, just like,
They look offended.
yes.
Like,
Yo.
what are you even doing here?
Yo, like all of their faces are just like, this project is fucked. And even the dude in the interview, he's just like,
wild ride. You know, we've learned a lot of lessons
On some real, like this, like everyone's looking like, get your ass back.
visible confusion. They said it took 4 months to listen to viewers.
He looks angry.
Like, get back to work. You do not need to be here right now, bro.
He's like, you hear this bullshit? This guy's spewing right here. You see this shit?
The fuck are you doing?
This dude's face has not moved. The dude.
Dude with the glasses?
Yes.
Yo,
I'm trying to do his face.
and they for real with it, because for you to sit here and actually be in a freaking convention, for you to be sitting at an EA Play
And talking your shit like we've been listening to. He is. But what?
My man is upset.
He is for real. Like
Does
contemplating
he even have
life.
his earphones in, or does he just have it over his ear? That's what I want to know.
He's not trying to
He's
hear
listening.
That's what my man's is
Yeah, because he has it over his ear, but he doesn't have the earbud in. Like it's just hanging there. He's listening. Like he's really into it. Like
These people in the background are developers. They're people who worked on this project.
upset. Get back to
really
it.
amazing game. We know we have some work to do. We just want to work with
Some work to do.
All right. Well, thank you, Ben.
Get back to work.
Oh, he hugged him. Oh.
When he gave him the side eye, like, hold on.
So literally,
listening to this BS.
during this E3 presentation, they spent 2 minutes. 2 minutes on Anthem. This is cut just to dramatize things. I have another video that's right here, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. That whole segment on Anthem, they didn't have that much to show off for other games. They gave them 2 minutes because they knew. And that hurts me because I wanted Anthem to be good. I really did. There were just some obvious things that they just needed to do from a UI perspective, from a playability perspective, from cross-play perspective. I don't know why it wasn't cross-play from the beginning.
They still wouldn't have saved it, let's be honest, though. I'm sorry.
It would have made it easier to find groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have gave him some life. It would have gave him some life.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just really, it's funny because of the video and because of the, but it's like really sad that it ever got this bad.
What bothered me is that they had like the expedition thing or whatever the hell, and I got Monster Hunter vibes, and I was already salty from that because I bought that game on Xbox and PC to play with friends, and nobody was on. So I was like, you guys want this game now? Like, I don't see anything.
I was on PlayStation, man. I don't know what to tell you. So that was, I don't want to say that was a you problem, but
$120 in total on Monster Hunter alone, and I was like, I'm getting a futuristic Monster Hunter. Like, what's going on here? It wasn't like Monster Hunter, but just because they had that beginning screen part, they used like expedition or some shit. I don't know. Just
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was salty, and again EA, so I was just like, I don't trust you.
Now, Mekel, did you play Anthem? Oh man, that's why you've been so quiet. Cause you're just like that.
I'm so sorry. But thankfully I didn't pay for it.
Okay.
I didn't pay for it.
Were you
okay, Flex?
Huh?
Were you an advocate for Anthem? You were an advocate for Anthem.
Yeah, damn.
No.
How many hours?
No.
How many hours, man?
No. Let's be lying about no damn games. You an advocate for it, bro.
How many hours?
Okay, so that feeling where you keep playing the game and you're wondering like, when is it gonna get better?
Yeah, bro,
that was me the whole time.
What do you mean? I played WWE 2K20.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still there.
Like the whole time I'm playing it, I'm like, maybe it's gonna get better. Maybe. No, it never got better. That's why I just hit that point where I'm like, I'm glad I didn't pay for this, And then the person who got it for me, who I was supposed to play it with, never was online to play it. So I'm like playing this on my own, and I'm like,
what were you on? What were you on?
What platform?
What system were you on?
I was on PS4.
Oh, okay. We got to exchange.
Exchange info. Listen, maybe the servers are still online. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe you could.
Future games. Anthem done. They said it. We done. I've been divorced. Like that game.
I'm not gonna hark on it. I'm not. Chat. If you've been watching my content long enough to have seen me play Anthem, you know exactly how I feel. And like every time I booted that game up, I just got mad. I got like frustrated. I was just like, how is this game so fucked up? Like y'all had a beta, y'all had people telling y'all how to fix it for months. How's it still this bad? Anyway, speaking of this bad, but actually not this bad, but also a co-op action RPG shooter, Outriders.
I can't say nothing about it. I haven't watched, I haven't played, I haven't had any interest, only because my hope for games have been very low. Woo. And when something's getting like attention and hyped up, I'm like, I'll wait for it.
Well, damn.
So I can't say nothing.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, because then we'll be here for another 2 hours. I can't.
So you're not trying to play the demo at all.
Not right now because it's too late and I'm busy playing other things and having fun and doing stuff on the side. So it hasn't been that attention grabbing to take me. I'm glad everyone's having fun and doing this. I've heard like mixed things, but I've also heard potential. And as soon as I hear that, it takes me out. Again, that word.
It's a dangerous word.
It's a dangerous word because it's so overused. It's like when girls got tired of, you know, the word beautiful. It's like you just say that to all the girls. It's like potential. You say that to all the games. Just stop saying that. I can't no more. I can't. So I'm just.
He really did that. He really did that. Now I'm gonna feel some type of way every time I say a game has potential. Are you gonna get the game at launch or like in launch window?
I have no idea, honestly. I think I look more into it as like, because when people try it out, it's one thing. When the game comes out, and if they don't listen to what people have said, you know, that's when I do my research to see if people feel like it's worth it when they play both. Especially with any game now, no matter who's behind the game, just because I've been disappointed recently, Oni knows about it. You know, just because I like a studio behind it doesn't matter anymore. It's just, I gotta wait because I still do what my friend Tornwings had taught me, where it's like, if you're gonna pay this amount for a game, consider it the gameplay being $1 an hour. If you paid 60, you better get 60 plus hours on that game.
That's how I play. That's legitimately how I play.
Yeah.
So I'll just wait. Because at that point, it's like, all right.
I end up getting my money worth on Anthem, by the way.
Wait, say that again?
He got his money worth on Anthem.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, yeah, I played it enough to be like, all right, cool. Yeah,
60 hours.
You know, I did that.
60 hours.
I spent.
It's a good scale. It's a good metric.
It's a good metric. But I don't. It doesn't mean it's a good game. It just means you got
no. It just means like, you know, yeah.
Right. I got value.
You got your money's worth out of it before you were like, all right.
Yeah. Fair. All right.
So I was trying to trade it in, and GameStop wouldn't take it. I didn't even know they did that to games.
Damn.
They were like, nah, bro.
GameStop, they wouldn't even give you a 20 for it?
Yo,
they wouldn't even give me 75 cents for it. Dog.
Oh, my God.
75 cents? You're not gonna
Are you serious?
Yo, I gave him 3 used games before, and they still gave me $20.
They just said, nah.
like, nah.
We're not have that. Nah.
Oh my goodness.
They looked at you like that one guy did.
I probably still have it in my cabinet, like for real. Like I don't even know. I can't even give it away right now.
Yo,
wherever you have it, if it's like this, can you like put it inside out so just the blue part sticks out so you don't see the label?
I'm so sick too, because like the mech designs for that game were dope.
I'm sorry.
It was.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to bring it back to Anthem. I'm so sorry. I know we're on out.
It's okay.
I just had to make those statements.
But yeah, talk about it because like I haven't heard full detail.
Did anyone play Outriders? Anyone here? Okay,
I did.
What were your thoughts?
So I'll say for sure that it was way more interesting story than I thought it was going to be. Way more. The characters that you kind of got to get a feel for were really interesting, and they had like very unique things, personality traits right off the rip. You can see it right away. You were like, okay, this character, it wasn't like an archetype character. It was like, okay, I understand where this person's head is just based on the conversations I'm already having. They don't go too much into like when I was a child, I blah, blah, blah. So that's why I'm so mean all the time. It's like you can get a sense of their personality just based on their conversations they were having with the main character. Is
it the story that adds to that, or the story and the voice acting? Like, is that included in making that possible?
I would say the story and the voice acting, at least for some of the characters. The voice acting is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. You stupid, JC Mac.
I was about to say, I know you see it.
We will definitely. But so story, I'll say like I'm intrigued. I want to know more. I want to experience more. Like even there was one character I was like, this is clearly a villain character. I will say that they made that very obvious for one of the things, but for another character, they didn't. And I was just like, oh, okay, I see you.
It's so like bait and switch.
It was a bait and switch, and like I thought I prophesized what was going to happen, and I was completely wrong. So I was like, thank you for that. I'm glad that like I didn't just guess the whole plot of the game right off the rip. Or maybe I did, and they just alluded to something. I don't know. Anyway, The controls need work.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is another example.
Potential.
Yeah, the controls have potential, right? But this is another this is another example of a why are you remaking this shit? You have examples of how to do this better than you did. Why are you reinventing the wheel? You did it better in Tomb Raider. It's not the same studio, but it's the same publisher. Tomb Raider has a better cover system than this shit. Who's the publisher?
Yeah.
Square Enix is the publisher.
Square Enix.
And what is it? People Can Fly?
People Can Fly is the developer.
Yeah.
So the problem with the cover system is
they actually did a game, by the way. I thought they were like a I don't know, like a backup studio. I don't want to say backup studio, but a support studio. I didn't realize they actually,
like not a developer but a publisher or some shit.
No. So like, how does like
people who help
the
actual studios make a game? So like they did one of the Gears of War games apparently. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
They did Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did Bulletstorm.
Oh. And you can tell in a way.
Did Gears of War?
I think they worked on Gears of War.
Because I know I know Bulletstorm is still Epic too.
Yeah.
Or it was from
Is there? I think it's Judgment. Is there like a Judgment? Gears
Yeah.
of War?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why. Never mind. I'll close the Google tab. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't know, if you mention Gears Judgment, that's the one no one likes to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
We like to pretend it's not a thing.
Yeah.
That all right.
The verdict of the judging is just.
I thought they were like a Blue Point or one of those kinds of studios.
I don't think so.
No, I said I thought they were.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the cover shooting looks like Gears 1. Like that's kind of a good throwback, honestly.
It's so all right. Division 2.
I get stuck.
In this, you get stuck, and like there have been multiple times. I don't know if you've seen the gameplay. There's been multiple times where I've tried to go into cover and just nothing happened.
Yeah.
So I'm like pressing the cover button, and it's just like, okay, so what? Go into cover. What the fuck are you doing? Go into cover.
What's funny is that like I think that's what spawned the Gears mechanic of like crab walking, where like you press. And the animation wants to go in cover, and then you do something to where the guy's just sitting there like, and that's a mechanic in Gears now, where you just like and shoot.
Yeah.
I feel like that was an accident, and I feel like this is happening again in that game.
But it's worse here. So like you see how every time I'm doing like the fire pillar, I'm throwing fire up and it's going across.
Yeah, you just did it. Yeah.
When you do that, you don't go back into cover after doing it. You're just out in the open. So you have to press the button again. Even though I was still attached to cover when I initiated the attack. There's little shit like that, like going around corners, for example. If I wanted to go on that box and go around a corner just to stay in cover, like you have to press C again to do that. But sometimes doing that takes you out of cover. It's just so unnecessarily clunky and complicated that it's like there are games that are being played now that already figured this out. Just do that.
That's honestly, sorry, bring it up again, but that's literally what Gears 1 had trouble with, and like through time they fixed it.
Yeah,
as much as they could, it became a well-known mechanic to like even pro players use.
Bounce.
But like, to bounce, and I mean we called it like crab walking, whatever back when I played it, but to just start doing that, and if you're getting stuck on there, like, and if they worked on Gears before, then I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I have I'm not really too keen on the story. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I feel like the prologue was very, and I actually have a video coming out, really detailing this. But like, I feel like the prologue was very Mass Effect Andromeda-ish.
Okay.
That's kind of how I got that impression too. Yeah.
Like it was like Outriders are like Pathfinders.
You know
what I mean? Like you go on and then like there's an anomaly.
Yeah.
Like that's just like when you leave or when you enter Andromeda, there's like this, gunk in spaces. It felt like kind of the same thing. Obviously, like there were different changes. Like the anomaly like gets you your powers and stuff like that. But Yeah, I mean the story was very bland to me. There were things in the story that were like, really, like tanks. Like, why the hell are there tanks in a whole new world?
Because they brought them.
Like, I know that, bro. Why are you bringing tanks if Earth is dying? Really? That's what we doing?
Oh, no, you stupid. Because they brought them.
Who are we going to war with? That's why humanity is doomed.
That's fair.
Oh my god.
That's fair. That's hilarious.
We're doomed. From the jump, we were doomed because we brought tanks. Like, why? Like guns, I get. You know,
What do you think was going to happen when you brought tanks?
But you bring tanks?
I feel like they brought them to protect themselves against whatever that might have been there. They were, the creatures that were running around. Maybe you need tanks for that.
I guess, maybe.
Question: is there character customization in that?
It's terrible.
Like,
It's terrible.
there is one. Is what you're
It's so bad.
Potential. There's potential.
Nah, man, they ain't gonna add more shit to that. We already know they ain't gonna add more shit. That shit is terrible. They don't even give you an option to change. Like you got okay. So you have presets for the faces.
The dark side.
And then in those presets for the faces, you have limited color options in those. So like if there's a face that just looks like a white dude, but you just want to, but maybe you have a face that just has white dude features, but you just darker skin. You cannot do that in this game. You can be tan white guy or pale white guy.
Yeah.
And there's a black guy preset that's an old man. You get nothing in between there.
I got the old man. I was like, you know what? You want to look old? We're gonna make you old.
But that's all they gave us. I can make myself a darker skin, like I can make my darker skin like white guy, but he's just gonna be tan. I ain't been in the sun much, so like I'm obviously gonna be a little lighter now anyway. But like that's for skin alone. Then we go to hair. They got locks. But you can't.
Did you see the texture on those locks?
The texture on the locks, at least on PC, weren't bad. They weren't bad. But you had like 4 color options. You had like black, brown, pale blonde, and like a reddish brown, and then like another variation of brown.
looks like all that potential went into the lighting in the cutscenes.
That's basically. There's no purple hair. There's no blue hair. There's no red hair. There's no green hair. There's no nothing fun.
Nah, see you in war. Why you need purple hair for it? All?
Why not? Why you put war paint on?
I was about to say.
Right.
I was about to say though, like the color hair options, fine, but like give us the natural, what you consider natural hair options. Then did they do that? It seems like they didn't.
I
didn't.
Did,
got it.
I did a male and a female. It was rough on both sides.
It was rough. It was real rough.
Damn.
That's what I'm gonna say on that game.
It sounds like a big fat potential game. Like
With capital P.
There's crossplay.
There is.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, that should be standard for every game coming out from now on, because it's not impossible anymore. It's not unthinkable. It's do it to keep your game alive.
Literally. I problems aside, I had fun with this game.
Okay.
But I don't know about y'all.
It was enjoyable.
$60 purchase for me.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not gonna like shit on it too much, because like I feel like that goes into another game I tried out, Werewolf, that could fall under the same thing. Like the story is interesting, but like everything else is. The first thing people say is that when you go in, it looks like a PS2 game, which like it does. Yeah, graphics on everything. At least to me, they're not everything. Story was great, and then the whole game is a werewolf. I want to feel powerful. I want to feel like a werewolf. You do. So they got those 2 things right. That's it. It's not a full price game, so I already got my money's worth. So
yeah,
so this one, it feels like very like take what you can from it.
No, they're not gonna get 60 from me. I will cop it on a sale, but like at 60 now.
Oh, it is 60.
Mekel, what you got?
I mean, if we get a review copy, I'll play it. I'll play it. you know, if I got some games that I want to trade, maybe I'll get it on a discount. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. Those issues kind of keep me away from actually buying it full price, though. Like, if I gotta spend 60 on that or on 7 remake integrate, I'm sorry. I'm going with integrate, and I ain't even gotta pay for integrate because I already got the, you know, free digital upgrade. But yeah, if I'm just looking between those two games, no, it's not. I'd rather.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on that one. But I think it will get better. But I'll hold right now, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it has to get better. I mean, to be completely real, like the boss fights, for example, you're seeing on screen right now, like this like the world tiers change as you level up, and things do become more difficult. And I like that aspect of it. I think they did a great job with kind of keeping you engaged from that perspective, but you can also at any point lower the tier grade. You don't have to wait until end game to start doing that. You can do that right away to increase your chances of getting better loot. Really cool ideas. I love that. Being able to use your powers to interrupt the bosses from doing certain things. I love that. It's so cool. Like headshots with sniper rifles in this game feel extremely satisfying.
I like that.
Yeah.
We like those.
Yeah.
And like the cooldown on the powers on default is in a good place. Like you can use them pretty often. You don't have to like wait too long to actually use your cool stuff. And the abilities, like they make a difference. They got all that stuff right. It's just the stuff that they got wrong is just like, how?
Yeah, I would say the majority of the mechanics for me are in a good place right now. For me, where it lacks is honestly, I think the story, where at least where I'm playing right now, it just feels bland. It feels very generic. At least for the prologue and for that introduction, I think it will grow. But and just, you know, the character creation, which I don't think they're going to do. Honestly, I don't think they're going to do anything about that character creation. I mean, we see games like this that at least allow for more classes in a sense. So like, you know, you do have your 4 base classes right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if they add more in the future.
Oh yeah.
But for me right now, this game, in my honest opinion, feels like they were like, okay, we want to make a game that has these mechanics and these kinds of classes, and like, let's build a world around them. That's what it felt like to me.
We won't spend too much time on Outriders for the time being, though, since we kind of got our thoughts out about that. Is there anything else you want to add, Mekel?
Potential?
With a capital P.
Capital P? I mean, it's fun. It has potential, but
not there yet.
I mean, if we get another beta and they address a lot of the issues with the controls, maybe. It'll go from potential to maybe.
It's not a beta, it's a demo, which that one caught me off guard.
Ooh.
It's a demo.
Because it's a demo. And I haven't seen that word in a very long time. Everyone who releases stuff is like, oh, it's beta, it's tested.
Alpha, beta.
Yeah, this is a demo. So this will be available until the day it releases.
So hopefully, even down to like the fact that motion blur wasn't something you can turn off. Which is just insane to put a demo out where you can't. Anyway, moving on.
We move.
Don't worry, I'm gonna still play it after we done with this anyway.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay.
Nintendo Direct.
It really is.
Tell me y'all thoughts on that. I didn't spend too much energy paying attention to it, to be honest.
Me neither.
Okay.
I looked through it. The only thing that actually caught my eyes, honestly, was Star Wars Hunters, which is going to be like this free-to-play Star Wars game made by Zynga. Like, Zynga is making actual games on console now. That was like the only thing that actually caught my eye. And then Apex on Switch. That's it.
So I'm just showing a little bit of that on the screen for people. Star Wars Hunters. The only thing that I really took from the Nintendo Direct was Pyrrha and Mithra in Smash Bros. And I saw how they look and that you can switch between them. And they They look great.
They censored them.
Oh, of course they did. If they're going to censor,
was like, really?
First of all, they censored Zero Suit Samus.
Yeah.
They censored Solid Snake. They censored. You know how I feel about that. They censored Bayonetta, even obviously though, because that was like her whole point is that she's crazy over sexualized. They censored pretty much every character, and to be fair, that is a kids game. So
Yeah.
you know,
Don't let they gonna get mad at you saying that.
but it is.
But what is it?
But it is.
I
What is it rated?
I think
Is it rated E?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then it's done.
I mean, like,
I think Nintendo in general, they're known for catering towards the kids and keeping that childhood there. Like, there's a reason why Mario is still relevant as a kid today than it was years ago. It's safe to say that. Maybe about Nintendo, I know some people get salty about the Smash Bros. Though, but you know, it's okay. Just play your tournaments. You're good.
yeah.
Win that money. You know, it's fine.
I've got some feelings about that Nintendo Direct.
Okay. Give it
I'm
to us.
ready.
So first off, okay. I thought that we were getting more Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC. That was a bait and switch. Like, I was so like hyped off of that, and then she's like, I got my invite to Smash, and I was like, I mean, I'm hyped, but really, Nintendo? Really?
They hit us
Your
with it.
best RPG in okay, I'll buy it. But of course, she's gonna be dope to play as with the two different forms she's got. I'm shocked that they didn't add in her third form from the game.
So it's actually Mithra and Pyra.
Yeah.
So you know more about this. Is Mithra and Pyra, are those the same character? Are those just different forms of the same person?
So the Pyra character was kind of created. So the main character is Mithra. And
Okay.
then she's got Pyra as her alter ego, which is in the primary story for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And then you get to the end of the game, she's got a third, her true form, which is Untos or something. I forgot. I can't remember the name of it, but she's got a third form, which I'm shocked that is not even her final Smash. I was like, oh, okay, they left that out because her third form's cool, but then they'd have to seriously tone that one down and censor that. It's kind of sexualized.
Yeah.
But no, like I mean, I'm excited for it. I know a lot of people were saying that they were expecting it to be Rex, and I'm like, if it's Rex is just gonna play like Shulk. Like, it's not gonna be any different.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So like, I the censorship of her outfit, I'm like, okay, but if you play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, she don't look nothing like that. I mean, she does, but like,
yeah,
they made her bust smaller. She's got stockings. I'm like, yeah, she ain't got all that. She ain't got none of that. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, they kicked it off strong with that, but then almost everything after that was 99% ports.
Yeah,
Or old games. And I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm hyped for it. I'm like, yo, where the new games at?
yeah.
That's where I'm at. I mean, I'm not trying to knock that, but when you got 99% of what you're showing is something from the PlayStation 2 generation,
That ain't new.
Listen, everyone got to blame it on the same thing, bro.
COVID.
COVID.
The vid.
Yeah, I mean, everyone got to blame it on the same thing right now. Like, let's be honest.
And the thing is, like, there's realness to that. Like, COVID does change the way you have to do things.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't make them impossible, though. Does not make them impossible. In some cases, it makes some things easier, some things harder.
Yeah, I do feel like it would delay game development a little bit, though.
Oh yeah.
In the overall aspect. So I'll say, like, you know, I mean, I'm not like huge, like I don't got a Switch or whatever, but like I was expecting more from the year on. Especially with PS5 and Xbox just coming out fresh with consoles.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that it was Zelda's 35th anniversary, and Nintendo was like, "We got Skyward Sword, the most divisive Zelda game out there."
Right.
Okay,
Project
Did
Triangle
still
strategy.
control better. Yeah, there's that. But okay, here's my question: where's Metroid Prime 4? Where
That's
at?
the one everyone was asking about. That
Where's Bayonetta 3?
In development.
Where's SMT 5?
SMT being
The Shin Megami Tensei.
oh yeah.
Because clearly Sega don't care about nothing but Persona and Yakuza right now, even though there's a lot of us that love SMT. But I was like, where is that? Where's SMT 3 remastered? Because my boy Ruben did the voice. He recorded lines for Dante. I'm over here like, where it at though? I want to hear nothing until it's like, nah, we give you ports. Okay, cool.
We're not how done.
All right.
maybe next year.
You know, I'm happy with what I saw for Mithra and Pyra. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of whenever characters get censored, but at this point, they've censored so many of them that it's like I'm not surprised. But I'm not that upset about it because it's supposed to be a kids game. But either way, you know, I
Don't tell nobody that.
I don't think you know, anyone who's been here before already knows titties are not the end of existence. If kids end up seeing some big ass titties in their face, is that not better than them like beating the shit out of each other? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just theorizing out here, okay? Like maybe titties ain't the end of the world. I mean,
It ain't.
it ain't. But that's what we got for Nintendo Direct. I didn't pay attention to it because it wasn't really anything too crazy aside from the Smash news that came out of that. And I love Smash. I play it pretty often. But speaking of nothing too crazy happening in an announcement, we'll just quickly glaze over this. PlayStation State of Play and the VR2 announcement.
Yeah.
There's a PSVR 2 coming.
Yeah.
I'm very interested because I've worked 2 jobs where I've had to work with every single VR that was mainstream. Vive, Oculus, any third party that wants to integrate with Oculus and have all those rides or games and stuff. PlayStation VR, holy limit. Like, you know, I feel bad for some people who, some games are okay, granted, but you're limited. So if they're doing more with it, great. Right? They need to if they want to compete with Oculus. Oculus has something coming out with AAA titles like Splinter Cell, like Assassin's Creed. I'm ready. Okay? I keep telling people Oculus being the way it is, get it. Not the Rift. Get the Quest. It's affordable. You get attachments. Make it good. PlayStation needs to compete with this.
Yeah.
So if this is their way of competing with it, fine. I know Vive probably got something. Everyone, whatever. But they're like pricey, so it's like, how much are they gonna do? Right now, all the deals are going. The shit I know Oculus has coming out with the technologies and stuff is kind of crazy. I don't know too much about the PSVR, but it's like I want to know.
They haven't told us anything. They was just like,
No.
They're
It's coming.
PlayStation. They got titles that they can, if they can integrate with the VR.
it's a wrap.
Shit.
Yeah.
It is like it is 100%.
Yeah.
So if they could do it, I'm happy, and I might even get a PlayStation VR.
I never got the original VR for PlayStation, but like I'm kind of excited because here's the thing. It's very early in the PS5 life cycle that they're coming out with the PlayStation VR. And I'm really interested, like I'll be really interested to see if they do a VR2 and really like knock it out the ballpark, and then maybe do a VR Pro, a VR2 Pro or VR3 within the same life cycle for the PS5. Like, that's what I'm really interested to see right now. Like, let's see what you come out with. Launch VR2. Obviously, you have to have backward compatibility. You can't not have backward compatibility at this point. Like, stop playing the game. But like, I'll be really interested to see, because some of the stuff they even talked about, and they didn't talk about much, but they said, you know, they're not going to have the additional processing unit or whatever. It's just going to be able to plug directly into the system. So that's showing that either the PS5 is that powerful to handle VR2, or we're going to see what really goes on and to see what the price point is on the VR2. Like, that's going to be a big thing too. Like, what is the price point? Are you going to be within a reasonable price point for people to be like, you know what, I want to cop this and the games are dope?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't do much. I'm even reading an article from PlayStation. I summarized it. It's only 6 paragraphs.
It's an announcement.
I'm up to date. Yeah. You know, they got titles like Astrobot, Rescue Mission, Tetris Effect, okay, Blood and Truth, Moss, Beat Saber. You'd be dumb to not have Beat Saber on VR.
Oh, of course.
So that's a good move. Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, good. Horror game VR, that's people love that. Trust me. That's how we attracted the most customers ever. I would put them on like the scariest ride or the scariest game, and the screams got people like, what's going on there?
Mm-hmm. I want to be scared too.
Yeah, I use that as advertisement, because like the place I worked at was just shit. Like, and the guy ripped me off too, but whatever. But how I got money made was literally just using the people to be like, all right, oh, you don't want to go upside down the ride? Okay, I'll put it on. No upside. Okay.
I got
upside
you.
down, scream. It wasn't dangerous at all. They were just scared, but they got through it. And then that's what got more people. So good move on them. As far as technology, they say they're more performance. And then what? Simplify setup, right? With a single cord cable. That's not hard. I mean, they proved it with a C-type into a USB. This can do anything, any VR system. So keep it simple.
If they can make it work with PC, then it's a wrap. Then it's a wrap.
Yeah, then it's crazy. If they just don't have an exclusive like wire or stuff, like, yes, it's gonna be worth it. And then it looks like they're trying to compete with the controllers.
Yep.
And that's it. But the controllers, like, yes, the controllers is a big thing as far as like comfortability, but like
interfacing too. The Move controllers from the last one were, the minute you put anything in front of it, it just completely didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we're talking 2 generations ago, right? With that
That's true.
controller.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
and just
at this point,
I hope they didn't like put too much time in making the controller have curves, because that's not it. You know,
we love
it's
curves,
really
though.
not. I mean, in the right places, that's right. But where it matters, though, where people don't really pay attention to, is as much as I can talk about like the Oculus, which I'm gonna when it comes to this, as good as this is, the vanilla strap it comes with is horrible. And if you don't have this thing attached to it, this feels like hair in your face after a while, and you're nonstop going. You know? Yeah, you need something there. It's all about being comfortable there, because you want playtime. You can't just have, you know, the controllers have all the comfortability. No, it has to be here, because this is, you want them to keep this on.
Right.
On top of that, you got people who get motion sick. It doesn't happen for all games. There's a little misconception with that. So people are different, though. You know, as long as you're in control of your own movement, you should be fine. It's games where that your movement is taken away from you, where your brain thinks like you're like, hey, why are we moving when we're not moving? And then that's what causes you to feel nauseous a bit. So they seem like they're holding back a little bit to me. So I'm kind of curious more.
Okay.
They said a few titles, but it's nothing interesting.
Yeah. It was more of an announcement of an announcement. That's basically what it was.
We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's coming out with their little first party exclusives and all that. So we'll see what they do.
There's other companies making a VR headset where they have mouth tracking, just cause. Just like something that's supposed to be like a camera here that looks at your mouth, so it could just like, so when you say hi, your lips make a hi motion. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Cool, but like, focus on the performance, please.
Mm-hmm.
My bad on my camera though. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's probably OBS Ninja being weird. It freed itself up. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, we have a VR expert here, basically. So that's the good thing about that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with VR in the near future. Make sure y'all go follow these wonderful gentlemen once again, the audio lover IR528 and Mekel Kasanova. And actually IR528, Ivan, he does a lot of VR content on his stream, so you definitely want to come through and check that out.
Gotta finish Walking Dead, man. That's
yeah,
so good. It's like Telltale to the point where like you have choices.
Yeah.
The game doesn't tell you have a choice. You have the freedom of making that choice. Like, you're in the middle, put it this way, summarize real quick so we can move on. You're one person who comes in the middle of a faction war in like the Walking Dead world. You can choose to be on either side, or you can just say F that and just kill everybody and do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
There's no option. There's no, you can literally do it.
Yeah.
That's what's taking me so long, and it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, that's sick. I wanted to move on to the next topic, being the BlizzCon announcements and updates. Again, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it because I don't really care that much about what Blizzard is doing these days. I do miss Overwatch, and I went back to it like 2 weeks ago and I had a really good time playing it. I still don't feel like Overwatch 2 is a necessary move.
No.
No.
But you know, let's talk about it. And I'm gonna play some footage. I'm gonna BRB to grab some water because I forgot to grab mine in the midst of this. But yes, talk your shit.
Anyone want to go first?
Oh no, I'm not. You can pass me on this. I don't care two F's about no damn Overwatch or Overwatch 2. Like, I know everyone likes that game, but like, y'all can miss me with that right now.
Yeah, I think for me, the only hype thing was bringing back Diablo 2, because that was a game I played a lot back in the day, and Diablo 4, because that's something like the Diablo games are something like my wife and we play all the time, and a lot of my friends growing like we were just playing that since the original Diablo came out in the 90s. So I'm hyped for that, but like Overwatch 2, I don't.
There's no reason for it.
It looks
There's
like
no reason.
Is it like a skin upgrade? Like, what's new?
Yes, there's no point to it. And here's the thing: they talk about how they improved the looks on characters. They showed McCree. He has a thicker mustache. Still has the red poncho. Huh?
I thought they were coming out with like a single player or something like that, a campaign, whatever.
It's not necessarily single. It's I don't know if you know about the PvE events that they would come out with Overwatch occasionally, whether it be the seasonal stuff like the Halloween things. It's basically that, but on a larger scale, more exploring the world. Speaking of ponchos, wow, he walks in with a poncho. It's great. So there's no point to it. It's just like a longer mission. They said that they wanted to live up to the hype of the animated shorts. So there's a couple cinematics, there's a couple dialogue of characters interacting with each other that's different. You know, improve like this is all stuff they could have done to the main game. Like, there's no reason for it. I mean, look at Call of Duty. They're coming out with a game every season, and you have to install it, and it just gets bigger and bigger. Why can't you do that with Overwatch? There's no reason for it. Reaper looks the same. You just gave him a cooler jacket cut off. Like, you know, there's no reason for that. It's... Oh, don't even get me started on the maps. Like, when they showed New York, I was like, obviously, you go to a famous spot. Like, you're not really doing New York. You're just doing, Grand Central Station. Like, you're just going to pick a spot. You're not really going to, like, you know... They talk about the world building, but it's just like... You could have just left it in the same game. It would have been better. It's reskinned. It's kind of a waste. I'm kind of excited for more story, more dialogue between them. And if they want to live up to the hype of the animated shorts, listen, those animated shorts
are amazing.
Great. Yeah. They're Disney movies in a short amount of time. Good luck. Good luck beating your own stuff, because I don't think they're gonna.
They just have to match their own stuff at that point. Because the people who are diehard Overwatch, they don't care.
they even improve some of this. Like one thing I like that I wish they do with the main game. The tanks are more tanks. Like they fit the role as a tank. Like Reinhardt. Like they said that the tanks are gonna be more brawlers. It's not just about Reinhardt having a shield out protecting other people. No, he's going to be able to go out. He has a little bit more mobility. He's able to use his fire strike a lot more common now. So that way, that's his only range. That's his only way to defend himself. He's going to be able to use that more to take out more enemies, to be more of a brawler, to where a tank can just take the damage for you while the team gets to do something else and not just sit there and protect other people.
Right.
Like,
just that with the main game.
Yeah, because let's be honest. All Reinhardt's purpose is protect me so I can be Bastion and left click.
Fucking remove him from the game.
Roger. Shooting. Play of the game.
Like, remove him. Remove the fucker.
It's so. Oh, they didn't even say anything about Hanzo, man. That was so bad.
Hanzo's best boy.
They didn't say shit about him, bro.
Okay, so what I'm gathering is what they could have done with Overwatch, the same thing they've been doing with StarCraft 2 since 2010. Just add more shit to the game and keep going. Okay.
100%. I don't know if the game is going to be $60. I don't know if they're going to say, oh, if you own Overwatch, then you're going to get the game for 20% off. I don't know.
They better do something like that, because like the way
they better, but it's still gonna be.
Y'all know, damn well they ain't doing nothing like that. Y'all know damn well.
I do love what you said about like how they're gonna make some of the characters, the tanks, just more, like Reinhardt, more brawler, more
fulfill a purpose.
Yeah, fulfill a purpose beyond just tanking damage. Like, give me tools that also, because like Reinhardt now, he can fight, he can use his hammer, but it's not the best way to use him for sure.
And Roadhog is still just like shoot him down like nothing though. Like
yeah,
there's just still so. But again, like if Overwatch 1 is still going to be a thing, if you're still going to have open service for that, they're still going to have PvP in Overwatch 2 apparently. So why have Overwatch 1?
Yeah.
Why not implement this stuff into Overwatch 1? Make me eat my own words. Do that. And then come out with Overwatch 2 anyway. But I don't know. I think it's just a money grab.
Oh yeah, of 100%. Course. I mean, at this point, they don't need to do this. Just like Call of Duty doesn't need to make a new one every year. They just don't.
No.
If Call keep playing it,
I didn't buy it. I didn't tell people to buy it. I actively listen. I am sorry, Activision. I know that y'all like working with me, or I guess the PR company that works with Activision. I know y'all like working with me. I have told people not to buy this game, and I'm probably going to tell people not to buy the next one, because you're going back. Word on the street is you're going back to World War II. No one's asking for that. Listen to your community. Listen to the feedback. Yeah. Pay attention to what players want.
Or stay consistent. Like, make up your fucking mind.
Make up your mind.
You know what they should do?
Stop.
Now, okay. Aside from that, they should do the one good thing that EA does. The one good thing, and that's make a Battlefield every other year. So Call of Duty shouldn't be every freaking year.
Shouldn't. Give the game a chance to breathe. I mean,
yes.
Keep giving it content for people to.
I feel like.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the #1 game every year in America. So
not last year.
Hear me out though. Like, if it looks like they're trying to keep Warzone a thing, and they're merging the games, they're merging the worlds together. Spoiler if you haven't fucking played Cold War, but they basically tied in the universes by having a character from Modern Warfare into the Treyarch's Black Ops, and the timeline fitting together of both the events happening in the same world. Fine. Whether it's the multiverse, their version, okay. It looks like they're trying to keep that one thing consistent. So why not come out with a game every other year or every other year where it's just story and build the world from there, and then make everyone go back into the BR aspect because you want to keep that free. Just come out with the single player only, because the storytelling in Call of Duty, that's what made you.
Right.
That's what made you. Call of Duty 4. You can't know that game and not know who Captain Price is. You can't just play the multiplayer and know who Captain Price is. The story is what got it. The characters. So keep that. Finish what you started. And you tease the whole Modern Warfare is coming back, and then is it a reboot or is it a what is it? And then we find out it's a prequel, really, because it didn't reboot anything. It was before. Spoilers. And then they're still doing it. Like, stay consistent. Why are you going yonder? Bring it back.
Why are you?
You just bought a house. You made it big, and now you're moving.
It's weird. It's in a weird place, and I hope that they figure this shit out. I do, because
they need to.
I like Call of Duty. Warzone right now is a complete and utter mess, and I want it to be good again.
I played Zombies the other day, or yesterday actually, and the stutter.
Oh God, yeah, no, it's stutters.
I still can't play. I can't stream it. I can't play it comfortably. Like, I can't. Maybe it's my computer. I don't know, but I can't.
Yeah. So my computer, even when playing regular multiplayer, I don't get the stutter as often on Zombies, but I do get it on regular multiplayer a lot, which is surprising because Modern Warfare, like, that game for me ran extremely well, and even on its worst, even at its laggiest, it still felt better than Cold War, and that's partly due to the bullets having this ridiculous velocity problem that they have in Cold War, where all of the bullets like take forever to reach their destination, and then you compound it by the lag itself and the server tick rate, and it just feels like a complete utter disaster. And then this frame rate drops because it's processing all this stuff in just unreasonable ways. Every gunfight I have is just like my frame rate just dips from like 20 to like 50 to 100. It's just stupid. It's stupid. And
It's the little things, man.
it's a lot of little things.
Like not being able to update the game and play it. You have to update it, restart, update, restart, and then play. You know, it's like the update has a stutter, and then like you're just like, can you fucking play the game already, man? I just want to play, please.
You're right.
Hold on. Anything else on the BlizzCon? Anyone got anything else on the BlizzCon?
I got nothing.
Nah,
man.
Diablo 2, that's it. That's all I care about.
Yeah, and that's just another. It's just Diablo 2 again. All right, great, awesome. Glad you just made this event to show us more Diablo 2.
You know what doesn't make
They just
sense?
need to drop it.
Announcing Diablo 2 and 4.
It
Like,
doesn't.
why?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
We still talk about Immortal.
Wait, didn't they do some Diablo thing like last year or the year before where it was like a mobile game and everyone thought it was like Diablo 4?
Immortal.
Yeah,
Immortal.
Diablo's
Okay,
Immortal.
Immortal.
Yeah.
Okay. It only took 2 years. That's fine.
Yeah. Again, they're just not listening to what people want. And like, I get it, having your own creative vision for what you want to do as a company, but when it comes to then you want people to buy that thing, we're not just gonna take whatever bullshit you feed us at that situation.
Yeah.
It's like you got to know that your creative vision and what the public wants has to meet in order for it to be successful. If you don't care about it being successful, then fine, release whatever the fuck. But if
They
you
had a hard face with that, with the Q&A. Remember when the guy asked the question, he was like, "Are you guys serious?" Yes, phones.
yeah,
Oh my god! If that didn't say like, "Hey, we didn't want this," louder than anything else, I don't know. Oh my god!
nothing else will.
Nothing else will.
Yeah, literally nothing else.
Before we move on, can we talk about that trailer before we get off games?
Which trailer?
The one I sent to the group on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I'll show the trailer. This is for a game called Sifu? Sifu.
As in a master or teacher.
Okay. Gameplay captured on PS5, cinematics captured on PC.
Yep. You don't need audio. The visual tells you everything you need to know because that's what's teased.
Everything.
Okay.
If you love martial arts, if you love martial arts movies, you're gonna see so many things with this trailer. I saw 4 things, and I looked at the comments, and people saw the same things, and I'm just like, they hit every note they wanted to hit.
Oh.
And that's enough.
This reminds me of
Go ahead, say it.
So there was this. It kind of reminds me of Iron Fist, but it also reminds me of this show that I saw. It was like the Wushu clan or something like that. It had a scene that was just like that in an apartment.
Wu Assassins.
Wu Assassins. That's what it was like. It reminded me of that scene from that. I was like, huh.
I said right away, you have the graphics of Absolver.
Yeah.
Which turns out it's the same makers.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolver, Sleeping Dogs.
That makes sense.
Then I got a little like I started hitting movie vibes. I was like The Raid. Then there was I was like, oh, that was Jet Li.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look at the comments, people are hitting these in different comments. I'm like, dude, we all felt that.
Yeah.
I looked into it. It's a story-driven game. One of the things I was worried about is that Absolver kind of had no point to it. It was more of the appreciation of martial arts. They kind of were late on the whole adding Jeet Kune Do in there, and God, I love that shit. And all the Bruce Lee fans were just like going crazy with that. But there wasn't enough to do in that game. That game died because they made all this stuff to appreciate the art of martial arts, but then it kind of just, that's it.
Nothing to do with it.
It had no point to it. This is a revenge story, a single-player experience, revenge story. You have to find out who assassinated your family, I believe. It's all on the website. It's only one page. They don't give that much info. But this trailer, from the same makers of Absolver, you know you're gonna get the martial arts appreciation.
Right.
And it's based off the Shaolin, one of the pronunciation and accuracy with this Pak Mei style of a Shaolin Kung Fu.
Pak Mei. Yep.
Okay, so it's that martial art.
In fact, that's coming out this year.
You know what? That does remind me more of the Daredevil. You're right. I agree. I couldn't remember if it was Daredevil or Iron Fist that it reminded me of that
They take
scene.
a lot of inspiration from these movies, like The Raid, it like being close quarters, him trapped in that building, like just a bunch of movies, a bunch of nice little callbacks.
Yeah.
So I'm a fanatic with that. So I got shown this today, and it was apparently on State of Play, and
it was.
That's one game I'm excited for. Officially, the only one.
I can dig it. Let's move on. Let's quickly rapid fire through the rest of these as well. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with that one, Audio Lover.
Illinois representative wants to ban violent video games. So, like, really quick, this is not a federal representative. This is a state. So the state of Illinois elected this person to represent them in the state capacity. Marcus C. Evans Jr. He filed this bill, and within that specific state, it's called the State General Assembly. And I could put the link up really quick to the chat, but basically what it is, he filed a bill stating that he wants to ban violent video games, right? And that's the direct link, by the way. If you look at, I think one of the writing on it, he explains what violent video games are. What some media outlets are kind of looking at it is like a ban on GTA, because he kind of quoted carjackings, having I'm sorry, I'm reading out the chat too, but having carjackings and stuff like that, like being the proponent to having physical carjackings within his district. So carjacking in games like GTA translate to having carjackings and violence in his district, things like that. So like that's kind of the thing that's been on watch in the gaming community. And if you know about me, like I am someone who is in government, local government in my state. And so this kind of like bode like very interesting, like that it's not federal yet, but it could be. And I don't think this is something that will ever make it to a federal level. Obviously, a federal representative would have to file something similar to this, but we have seen things like this before where games are targeted. Originally, obviously, this is not the first time, you know, entertainment or media is targeted. So I just found this like really interesting, like to see where this goes. I don't think it's going to have any hearing or anything like that. I think they do have to be similar where, you know, you have your House and your Senate, but it's just really interesting to see like people are still
on that train
in the sense of video game, you know?
Yeah.
I just can't believe they still with so much information we have at our disposal on your phone. You want to blame video games, but you don't want to blame the movies, the TV shows, the anything else that's
the
not
books
supposed
that
to be
detail
real. The books,
specifically how to commit crime.
man. Yeah. Or the shows that glorify, like even reality shows where they interview killers and how they did it and this and that, and like you're giving all this information away. You're not blaming that. Like even if you I think it comes down to parenting. Really, you want to like target parents, like.
To target the neighborhoods where you don't have opportunities for people to actually do something more than committing crime.
And that's the biggest thing for me, right? I definitely do feel like it's all about opportunity and what you allow the economic development of the neighborhood. Right. A lot of places, and like I said, I work in government, so I see it firsthand where there's a lot of places that don't have that infrastructure or that support. So like, I just feel like this was kind of like you're just taking a jab at video games. It doesn't make sense. I found it interesting that a lot of media outlets took it to target games specifically like GTA, but this really targets all violent video games. This targets everything, in my opinion, that's rated T and up. Like in all actuality, where you're talking about Call of Duty, you're talking about anything like Destiny, any of those games, Division, any of those games that deal with violent video games.
I mean, even Fortnite now, because you can drive in Fortnite, so they can make the same argument.
In some respects, I agree with the statement of not selling games to minors, and I think that's as far as extent as it goes in that bill. Like, I definitely agree. Like, places, stores, and stuff like that should be fined for selling mature content to minors, right? Like, if the game is rated mature, and I've seen this firsthand, like where, like, you know, someone's trying to buy GTA 5 and they're like clearly not 17 years old. And it's like, how?
Right.
You know what I mean? But like,
how'd you get this child?
like, how are you even selling this? Like, it's like, you know, like selling cigarettes to kids. And I get people don't really get that correlation, but like,
it's the same.
There is a development process in the brain. So like, you have to be at a maturity level to play those kinds of games. And I don't want to fully say it's the parents, because at least in America, like, parenting is very interesting. Like, it's not just parent. Like, I'm a parent and I parent my own kids, but I know people who like don't have parents and they have grandparents, and grandparents may not know. So it's like there's a level to certain things, and guardians and foster, like, but it's very interesting. Like, we have to figure out ultimately where we want to go when we're looking at children. But other than that, like, I feel like, yo, if you're an adult, play what the fuck you want.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They can't. There's a hard time when someone gets a game. Like, an adult could get a game that's rated M for mature. That's why we have ratings, right? To prevent that from happening in the first place. So an adult buys a game that's rated M, but then they let their kid play it. There's no way they can prove that, hey, I didn't sell it to the kid. I can, you know what I mean? Like, that can still happen. So it's kind of like a weird area where they can't really deal with that situation. So it's, why would you go that far? If anything, why do we have ratings anymore at that point if you know it's going to happen anyway?
I mean, wasn't that the whole point of us even having the rating system?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So just take it away.
Well, they have that to cover their asses. If some parent wants to file some lawsuit on them, it's like, we have this rating system for a reason, blah, blah, blah.
I don't want to get into it. Like,
I remember I tried getting Fable 2 and I couldn't get it because the GameStop guy was like, this has some themes in it. And I was like, well, I don't know. It just looked like a game I wanted. And my mom was like, all right, well, just get another fucking game. I'm pretty sure it was Grand Theft Auto 4 I got. But he had a problem with Fable 2. That's what I was trying to think. Like, I remember I couldn't get Fable 2 because now I know that it had like sexual things in it, whatever. Fine. But I'm pretty sure it was Grand Theft Auto 4 I got instead of Fable 2. I'm pretty sure.
I feel that's way more harmful.
Wow.
How?
Yeah.
Instead of Fable, you gave me Cousin. What?
Let's kill someone.
Like, really, at that point, he was just trying to be a dick. He didn't want me to play Fable. Like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's a bad game.
That was a personal thing. You did this. You did something to him in a previous life. That's what that was.
Let's play darts.
Let's go bowling.
All right.
I love Photo 4.
This is going to be rapid fire because there are a bunch of live action video games and shows that are coming as a direct result. I see some excitement from Ivan. So where's that excitement coming from?
2 places. 1, Division, because the story makes sense, especially with us living in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I agree. I said it from day one. Oh my god. Bioweapon on money on Black Friday in New York. God damn, this is a great story. Great story. No matter what. Mortal Kombat, the trailer didn't interest me that much, and not in a bad way. It's just that, like, come on, like, it's a trailer, fine. I want to see the movie. I want to see the end product. But the people behind Mortal Kombat, some of the people who worked on Warrior, and that's a great show. If you haven't seen it, it's based off the stories of Bruce Lee, are working on that movie. At least some of the actors and some of the behind the scenes people. So I have hope for them because they have proven in another place that it's just in good hands. So that's why I'm excited for those 2 in particular. Okay.
Awesome.
I can dig it. I mean, I feel like maybe Halo could also be really good. I would watch a Halo show.
This is the 2nd or 3rd iteration for Halo.
Oh.
So I don't know. Yeah, have you not seen any of the other iterations for Halo?
I have one on DVD right there.
No, okay. I haven't actually.
Yeah, this is like the 3rd, like...
3rd, yeah, it is.
So,
Ooh.
All right. And that's why I brought up that was Xbox too early. So Xbox, if you guys and everyone trashes Xbox One for the concept of trying to be an entertainment system, and I thought it was, in my honest opinion, like it was the right move ultimately because that's what they came out the gate with. Like their ultimate vision was that. Like when they came out with the original Xbox, it was to go to like the Xbox One to be a full-on entertainment system because you wanted everything in one hub, right? And I don't like how they did certain things, how they executed certain things, but like that was the vision. So with Halo was like, or at least the second iteration, they used Buddy, who's the lead on Luke Cage. And the promotion was, where are we at? Halo 5, Halo 6? What's coming out now?
Halo 6.
Technically Halo 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Halo 5 was Guardians. Was that right? Am I correct on that?
Halo 5 was Halo 5 Guardians, I think.
Guardians.
Then it was Halo 3, then Halo ODST, then Halo Reach.
It's either Halo 4 or Halo 5. Chat, correct me on this, but they started to implement what they ended up using for, I guess, this, where they try to be a TV show, but it ended up being like this one-off thing. And they used the dude who ends up being in Luke Cage. So that was their second thing, and their first thing, I don't even remember. It was trash.
Oh, yeah, Michael Coulter. Yeah.
Yes. So what Xbox was trying to do was come out with an Xbox Studios division for TV. Mm-hmm. And they were literally coming out. They were supposed to be coming out with shows. So like
Quantum
Break.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. I was going to ask what was the name of the game.
Yeah.
Quantum Break was supposed to be one of them. Halo was supposed to be another. They were going to come out with shows. And PlayStation was actually doing the same thing as well, but they fell through. But this was going to be the thing, and I thought that this was an interesting thing, but gamers pushed back. Gamers was like, yo, no, we don't want this. We just want games. But yet still we watch anime and everything else on Netflix and Hulu and everything else. So it's like,
They had reason, in my opinion. At that time, like, there was no good game movie to do it justice, and everyone says Ready Player One, but it's like, no, a book. That was book.
It turned to a movie.
It had a, you know, turned to a movie, yeah, but like it didn't start as a game and then adapted to a movie, because like the book has a lot there. They use stuff from like games to make it, you know, it more interesting, but maybe they were too early.
I think I don't even think it was too early. I think they just put too much focus on it. Like, all that other stuff was fine to do, but when you come off the heels of something like the PS3 and a 360, and the only thing of value you're bringing to the table is we have Halo, we have Gears, and we have TV. That's a fundamental problem.
Yeah,
fundamental problem, because this is a games first system, entertainment second. They were like, we want this to be the hub of entertainment in general. Yeah, you can play games on it, sure. That's what we got from them, and that is not okay. Super not okay. And that was the biggest disconnect and the biggest reason why, from my perspective, that the Xbox One failed, and why I love the idea of Quantum Break. It was a really good idea. Yeah. Again, they led with that as like their primary way of interacting with the device, though, and that's like when you go to a restaurant and like, oh yeah, you know, the ambience of this restaurant is really what we focus and cater our experience on. We want to make sure that the lights and mood and it's dimmed just to your liking, no matter what. All right, but what about the food? Yeah, we'll get to that later. Don't worry about it. Like, it's really just like
microwave it. It's fine.
Just microwave that shit later. Don't worry about it. Like, listen, it's all about the lighting. It's all about the mood.
Air fry.
We even got music in the background that's like not too loud, but not too soft, but just right so you can hear it. But like, it ain't overpowering. Yeah, but like, is the food good though? Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it though. That's what they're doing. That's what they were doing.
Because they were supposed to do something in 360. I feel like it's a mindset thing, because they were supposed to do something with 360 too, like as far as making a bunch of stuff into movies and TV show. And I only remember this because it was wrestling related, because there was a bad stigma on wrestlers being actors. Batista was an advocate to play Marcus Phoenix way back when, and they didn't want wrestlers to be, funny enough, he's in the game now, right? They didn't want wrestlers to be the main focus. They didn't want wrestlers to be the main focus because, you know, they had a stigma around them. Next thing you know, The Rock, #1 actor. Next thing you know, Batista, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, the mindset then and all the way through, I feel like
Triple H and Blade. Yeah.
You know, it's probably a mixture of things. It's just them finally, you know, trying to do something right.
Yeah.
They have the blueprint. They have the stories. They just got to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so my whole thing, and just interject, like, my whole thing was like, I was looking at Xbox and I was looking at PlayStation. I feel like PlayStation, because it's Sony and Sony Pictures, Sony definitely had like this real backing behind them, and they tried to do something, but they kind of saw what happened to Xbox and they were like, F that. Because they did come out with, like, I think they came out with the Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, that was a good. I think I remember that movie doing pretty well, actually.
And then they did like they were actually supposed to come out with they came out with this one show called Powers, which did okay. Like, it wasn't honestly that great.
Yeah,
it was 2 seasons. It wasn't that great. I feel like 1, it was okay, and 2, Power was on around the same time, and like obviously Power and Powers like
confusing.
What's gonna hold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest here.
You mean the one on Cinemax Power?
Yes. The one that Creative Mind 9 was in. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Stars. With ghosts and
Stars. Okay. Yes, that's the one I watched. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, that's the one. I got confused too. There you go.
Yeah. What Powers was like supposed to be like some comic with superheroes. It honestly is. It's like The Boys on Amazon right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like almost the same crap. For real. But I just felt like with PlayStation, they didn't go with what they knew, and now they have to like go to HBO and say, hey, you know, like, we got The Last of Us, like, make that into a show, and like stuff like that.
Well,
It's like,
I think that's a studio thing, is it? Because PlayStation only has so much to actually take action on making into a movie, because studios try to do that and take that away from the both PlayStation and Xbox. Because didn't Ubisoft make their own studios to do the Assassin's Creed movie?
Yeah, but here's the thing with PlayStation and Xbox. PlayStation and Xbox were gonna come out with Netflix rival. So they were supposed to come out with like their own platform, and it like PlayStation was gonna have, you know, their like at first they started with like you could get all their stuff through PlayStation Plus, but they were eventually supposed to have their own platform, and so is, you know, Xbox. So that's why I came from like, were they too early on the jump? Because now you have Disney Plus, you have like
now everyone's trying to be a network.
Yeah. Like and they actually had brands and franchises that I think people would have gravitated to, where it's like, yo, if you pay $5 to jump on Xbox, you know, video service or PlayStation, granted, like Xbox, like what, just last year they stopped making you pay for gold to watch Netflix and all that crap.
Something like that. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Like, come on, yo. Like, that's ridiculous. But other than that, I mean, like that kind of stuff. So like, because you know, PlayStation, you know, Sony has all these studios, and I feel like Sony has all these franchises that they could have done, as well as Xbox. Like, I think they were their time, they could have jumped on it on the forefront, and they kind of got burnt and was like, you know what, we're just gonna pawn everything off.
Yeah, that very well could be the case. And I think in a way I agree, like it was too early, but overall it was too early. I mean, this was like right when the transition from going away from cable to going over to like subscription services like Netflix and Hulu. That's when it was all starting. So I think because they had the idea or vision to also do that as well, it was just too much for people. It was just like, I just want to get away from cable. Yeah, you're trying to bring me back into cable, but just different cable. Like, that's what it felt like for a lot of people too. And that's
I'm excited. Other than what is it, Twisted Metal? Like when they just announced that, I was like, really, Twisted Metal?
I don't give a shit about that. I don't give a shit about the Borderlands movie.
As much as I care about Twisted Metal, only the early ones in the Rob Zombie soundtrack. No. There's no adding. They tried to do more story wise and add different faces to, and even that was a problem. Like, you can't. No one's gonna give a shit right now.
No one's gonna give a shit. We haven't seen Twisted Metal come back in any way.
Borderlands,
they can get away with Borderlands if they go a certain like animation route, I guess.
Because I did not think that Jack Black would have been Claptrap. When I saw, because they announced Kevin Hart first, and I was like, oh, he's definitely going to be fucking Claptrap.
Well, that's not what they did. Nope.
Just because he's the right height? Come on. Hell
not.
No, okay. That's probably their first thought.
Yeah.
Stupid. These movies, though. Honestly, I want to see who's producing these movies, because like they just did Jumanji, and I just saw Jumanji, the second one, the other day, which was it was okay.
Jumanji was fun. I feel like it was a fun movie. What they're doing with Borderlands is like,
right? That's what you're talking about, or like the original was great. I'm talking about the sequels.
The sequel. I watched it. I watched it in the movie theater, and I enjoyed it. Okay. I mean, it was dumb fun, but it was dumb enough fun where it was like it was enjoyable. It was campy. It didn't take itself too seriously. It knew what it was, and it was fun for it. To me.
You talking about the first one with Dwayne, or the second one with Dwayne?
The first one with Dwayne.
I was about to say the second one with Dwayne is where it kind of like went like to like the first one was enjoyable, and then the second one was just like, all right.
The second one kind of went a little left, but I like the ending of the second one.
Yeah.
Like the second one brought me back to the original.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say that.
Okay. I can dig it.
Like I'm now they had me like, oh, let's see what you do now, because I'm really interested in that.
Yeah. I feel you.
So I think in general they should do more video game movies and experiment with getting it right, because adaptations is never really done right.
Who do you
try to get it right? Well, I think they should just, because there's a real, especially now during COVID, I've always said before, even COVID, that like they don't always have to do live action. If anything, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse proved that animation can do it. Stop trying to make everything live action, because sometimes you just can't find the right person to fit the face of this person. But if you hide everything behind animation, if you want to put the money into it, you can make it really good. But then it becomes an issue of like, oh, are they going to get the story right? Or are they going to change it to fuck up the story? Again, they have the blueprints.
I don't want to keep spending all my money on like 3-4 companies. Like,
exactly.
if y'all, everyone want to go to Netflix, then everyone needs to go to Netflix.
Right.
I think they should just
That's
keep.
my thing.
I think they should just keep like, make it all platforms. Just make it a movie and have different people showcase it.
Yeah.
Or sign a deal with HBO, and because HBO is high, and if you know the release date is going to be next to the release date of Zack Snyder's Justice League, make it that same month and profit off that, because people are going to subscribe to that. Like timing, rack up your movies and shit, and find a place.
All
You got time.
I'm probably not going to be watching Halo. No disrespect to Halo, but like, I don't even got Paramount Plus or what is it? CBS.
What's that called?
Wait, they have their own shit now?
Everyone does, man. You heard of Freeform?
That's the thing. That's my biggest issue. Like
We're
too
going
much.
backwards though.
We
Like,
are.
it's just
We're
networks
going back to
that can't-
cable. We're going back to cable.
because when Xbox and PlayStation were gonna do it, they were going to it was gonna be within Xbox the Gold package. It was gonna be in PlayStation Plus. So I was like, yo, I'm for it. Like, if that's what we're gonna do, because I already knew the vision anyway. Like, they were gonna do it regardless.
Yeah.
Everyone
They
else
better.
didn't realize they were gonna do it regardless.
No.
So now we're dealing with what we're dealing with. That's the problem. And that's my problem. I'm like, God.
I'm only mad that they didn't do Splinter Cell first, because they've been talking about Splinter Cell since I was in high school, and I was still following that shit. Tom Hardy was supposed to play Sam Fisher.
That would be
and they announced that in
sick.
2012, 2013.
Splinter Cell was the first original video game for Tom Clancy, correct?
All of Tom Clancy's games
Like
were
every-
original.
No, I mean,
No, like the first one for Tom Clancy's title. No,
'cause
because
everything
wasn't
else
no
was-
Rainbow Six
Rainbow
happened
Six.
before. Rainbow Six
Yeah.
happened before that.
Yeah.
Rainbow Six was
It was a strategy game. You couldn't even play it the very first one. I think you just had to plan out how you breach and clear like rooms and stuff. That was the first Tom Clancy one.
Rainbow Six was a book. I mean,
No, like video game wise. Like that was the first video game
Oh,
title
you mean
of
like
Tom
which
Clancy.
which one started as a video game, not as a book?
Exactly.
I
as a
see.
book.
Rainbow.
Like, it was like legitimate like video game. I think it wasn't in
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Splinter Cell. Yeah.
It might have been, yeah.
Splinter Cell, yeah, it was.
I would say
Yeah.
for sure. Because Ghost Recon was a book, Rainbow Six was a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I would definitely love to see a freaking Splinter Cell.
Hell yeah.
I love
Tom Hardy at the time was a great choice, man. In my opinion, because it was at the perfect time where he could have just fucking made that character his own, and he could play a good badass.
I totally. He can still do it. He can still do it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm surprised that Division is going to Netflix though, because everything else Tom Clancy is on Amazon.
True. Jack Ryan, I will admit, I watched that.
Jack Ryan's good.
Terrible name for a show, but good show.
And
They did a movie with Chris Pine before, didn't they? And it
Yeah.
kinda,
yeah, it's all. I mean, Jack Ryan's been since like I think either the early '90s or the late '80s, like Hunt for Red October, Some of All Fears, all that's Jack Ryan.
yeah.
But
Netflix
fun
might
fact,
be good though.
real quick, Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan. That is the prequel to Rainbow Six, because that's from the book actually.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
Rainbow Six is a book, but Rainbow Six is a sequel to Without Remorse, which is based on John Clark, which will be played by Michael B. Jordan, which is going to be on Amazon.
Okay.
So I'm very interested to see, because if in the books he's part of the Jack Ryan universe.
Okay.
So I'm very interested to see what may happen.
You know,
Crossover.
they need this, because they've been teasing the fact that these Tom Clancy games are in the same universe. So if they do that with the movies, bro, a Tom Clancy cinematic universe.
Yo, I'm waiting for it.
That would be.
I'm waiting for it. Like, I'm super excited because the second season.
The inner
of Jack
part of me
Ryan,
is so happy right now. I don't want to let it out. Yeah, I gotta keep it in. And just like, don't disappoint me.
Yo, second season of Jack Ryan. All I'm gonna say is how the hell is it set in Venezuela, and then in the same year we're indicting the Venezuelan president?
Yo, that shit was freaky. That shit was freaky. I was like, how y'all get away with that? How y'all get away with this shit?
How? I'm sorry. I didn't want to go. Look, we could keep.
Yeah, it was real.
That's all I'm saying.
It was too real.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
I watched that during Christmas break. But
yeah,
speaking of break, I want to give some time for the chat to ask whatever questions that they have, and in between that time, I want to take a moment once again to thank each and every person who was in chat right now for being here. Thank you if you showed up today during our broadcast for the podcast. I really appreciate that. Mekel, thank you for being our honored guest on the podcast. I'd love to have you on again.
Anytime.
Yeah, IR528, the audio lover. It's been a pleasure having both of you here, but I don't want to keep you too long. That's mainly what I wanted to get at. I know there are other things that we all have to do throughout our day. I know Ivan and I are going to be playing some Splinter Cell Blacklist in a little while, actually, on PC.
We talked about this for years. Can you believe it's been years now?
It's literally been years, and I'm like, you know what? I want to play that shit.
Yeah. In my head, I'm like, oh my god, finally we have a Metal Gear fan. It's like Snake and then like a little guy who's trained by Sam Fisher. I want to call him Sam Fisher. I don't have the voice for it, but like, unless I'm like, you know, how you doing? I don't know. I can't. But somebody who's trained by Sam Fisher, somebody who's trained by Snake, colliding right now is great.
Yes.
It's great.
Well, we're gonna get ourselves on that on the Black Oni podcast. No, but shout out once again, Mekel. It was because of you I was able to get David on the show. And
oh my god,
yeah, that was a
so thank you too. Shit,
yes,
thank you too. That shit.
Yeah, he's good. That was
man. That was the push I needed for sure.
He's dope. He's dope. Yeah. I can't say too much about like if what will come down the road when it comes to doing anything with David, but there might be something else in the works. Let's just say. Y'all will learn about in the future. That's all I can say. But with that said, thank you all for J-Hub just rated the channel at the very end. So shout out to you, J-Hub, for bringing your folks over to the broadcast. We're going to be taking a quick break so we can kind of refigure and get everything situated for playing Blacklist. But before we do that, Mekel, where can people go to find more of you?
Well, you know, broken camera and all. I don't know what's going on with my camera.
OBS Ninja for some reason has been doing something real weird lately, and it's a really great tool for what we're doing, but for some reason it just like I don't know. Its problem is it's like this fool got a DSLR. He finally went and got one. Yes, I did. Sony A6000. Anyway, y'all can find me. I'm on all platforms: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Coming soon to OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, I'm on all platforms. I know, right? I know. I'm on all platforms, so universally across the board, it's Mekel Kasanova. Catch me on YouTube. I do video reviews for video games. I do reactions to anime, manga, review tech, and got a lot of things in the works. I'm one of the first people in Hawaii to ever be partnered with Acer, so I'm going to be working a lot with them going forward for their Predator line of computers, as well as the Nitro series. So expect some content from that. And, you know, the Kasanova podcast, interviewing various people, content creators, celebrities, and more. And soon we should have you back on, man, whenever you're free. I know you're busy. I'll do it again, but yes, I have been busy. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, just let me know when you free up, and then we'll do it again. But yeah.
Good shit. And what about you, IR528?
IR528 everywhere. It's our Instagram is _IR528 because for some reason they don't like my name and I can't put 2 letters with numbers. But it's 2 letters, 3 numbers. IR528. Right now we're doing some wrestling stuff with actually TBG in chat and then Santuo. It's been really fun. We did an accidental 10-hour stream, so we got something fun planned. So yeah, check me out there on Twitch, and I'm most active on Twitter. But I'm trying to collab with people. It's all about just having a good time, sticking with the community, because I'm trying to build that, because community is everything.
Yo, shout out to making over 1,000 followers on Twitch.
Ah, yes.
You know,
Congrats, man.
That's some
Right
good
at
shit.
the end of 2020, finally, after like since 2013.
Yo, it's not easy. It's just not. It's just not.
Yeah.
So we, celebrate every and all victories. That's what I say. Celebrate that shit, because it's not.
Yeah.
Getting 100 followers
too, man.
takes a long time. It took me a long time.
Takes a while. Through Immortals, I got that at the very end. It was December of 2020, and then things started. Wow, I'm getting followers already. Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's
no.
dope. That's great.
My
Make
bad.
sure y'all
I'm
go
using OBS
follow.
virtual camera.
That's
My
awesome.
bad. But yeah, more stuff to come.
Good shit. And last but not least, the audio lover.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me once again. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to trust in me to do the list, to do the podcast. You can find me at the audio lover at all platforms. That's Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at the audio lover. I do gaming, sci-fi, tech, and futurism. Huge sci-fi nerd. If you see Stargate, we're here. Listen, come holla at me.
Beautiful. And last but not least, myself. Go follow me at Black Oni at pretty much everything except for TikTok is Black Oni Twitch, because someone
snagged it.
Yeah, someone snagged it.
I'm glad you're on TikTok, man.
I'm not really on there. I got an account and I put some stuff up, and
that's fine. I'm glad. You gotta have the platforms.
I don't love it.
You never know. You never know.
I really don't love it.
Listen, I hope you just make sure if you're not interested in anything you see on the For You page, you have to hit not interested. Otherwise, it's not going to cater to your liking. Yeah, you have to do that. Otherwise, the algorithm is just going to show you, like people who complain about TikTok, real quick, say like it's just a bunch of kids on there. Stop watching the kids then. Because if you keep scrolling by it, it's going to show more to you. You have to put not interested and it'll stop. The algorithm changes with you.
So
I'm gonna get on TikTok. I'm downloading.
I will say I've barely given it enough time to even have the algorithm give me suggestions, because yes, there's a bunch of just like dancing videos and shit like that. Like I don't give a shit,
because that's a trend. You need to have the algorithm work with you.
It's not clearly labeled or put in a way that would let you know that, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, I keep getting notifications for shit I don't give a shit about. I turned off my notifications. I turned off notifications for the shit because all the preferences that I set in the settings, TikTok ignored. It ignored every single one of them. I said, only send me notifications for mentions, messages, or follows. Every day, 7 times a day, I'm getting notifications. Did you see this video? What about this video? You should check this out. Oh my God, you should come on to the app and see this.
I don't get that.
It's like, bro,
because
I don't give a shit about this stuff. Stop telling me. Why?
Oh my God.
I don't know what tags to use on it. Like I post stuff and then like some random thing will do good and other things don't. And I'm like, I don't get this.
Yeah,
it's like click the 2 top trending ones, right? Because it's always changing. FYP, and then you have to find a niche tag where you always have that one, so that way you get recognized for that one.
Wait, so 2 top trending FY. Okay. Let me write that down. Yeah, we got to. I'm like,
we gonna have to talk because
I've been experimenting with that. I made some funny stuff that kind of blew up, but I can't get things to like go past. And sometimes I'll do like a really funny one. I remember I did one with Kesa where we reenacted a Rush Hour one.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was dope.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna blow up. Nope. And then there's some random one and it blew up. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's literally how it's like YouTube, but worse.
Yeah.
How do you?
Oh my God! And I'm stressed out right now.
How do you?
I thought that was you. I thought you were a ventriloquist. How do you?
It's literally Yo, thank you, Imperial, by the way. I appreciate your face so much. Imperial, she just rated the channel as well. Yo, thank you.
I gotta say this real quick. Y'all gotta get on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is it right now. Y'all need to get on Clubhouse. I know I've been trying to get you on, and you over here like, if you're not on Clubhouse, let me know, and I'm gonna get you in Clubhouse. Y'all gotta get on Clubhouse.
It's just
I'm on it too. I just don't know who to follow.
Oh, then we got to talk. We got to talk because Clubhouse is it.
Cool.
I'm telling you. And with that said, shout out to the Black Twitch Collective because they're on Clubhouse. That's fam.
Yeah, a lot of them came through today to see you in action. So much love and appreciation to y'all. I don't know. Listen, I'm getting to that point where I'm like, there's too many things I gotta keep up with. Like, am I old? Is that it? Is this officially the time I'm old?
You sound like you getting old, and I know I'm older than you, so
you gotta teach me, please. Teach me.
I thought it was just me because I feel like that. I'm like, oh boy, I gotta get on this. I gotta post on this. I gotta do that.
Hey,
I got a TikTok dance to get popular now. All right, great, wonderful.
Listen, I feel like the more you say that, the more you speak it into existence, and then your back gives out. So try not to say that too much.
Listen, my back has been feeling actually great because of this chair.
Yeah, exactly. Do what you gotta do. I'm 25. I have back issues, but I never say I'm old. I make sure I stretch. I'm good. Don't say you're old, because then your back's gonna be like, oh yeah?
Right. That's when your knees start giving out.
Oh, Imperial, you're just better. Okay,
that's it. Your knees. You never know.
She said, I don't know. I'm much older than you, and I can keep up. You're just better. Okay, you're just better than me. All right, you want me to just say it out loud? Yo, you got one TikTok that super popped off, 1 mil plus, but you knew that one was gonna. Oh,
here's another trick. Here's another trick for TikTok. This is free. You guys in chat can use it. Use a trending sound, even if it's unrelated. Just turn the volume all the way down, so that way whatever you're gonna do is heard. But turn the sound down, so that way it goes to the trend because you use a sound and people can find you through that sound, but you're not using it.
Oh, that's up.
Hella cheat. You know?
Yeah.
He just gave the full-on cheat code, kid.
Okay.
That's crazy.
As much as I know about TikTok, like I learned from watching, analyzing, posting experiments and stuff. My TikTok's very like adult. You know, I do a lot of like adult funny shit or just funny shit in general, and that seems to be my niche. And if you get that creator, if you go to the like what kind of TikTok account you got the creator, you get to see who your demographic is. So I got like 80% women. So I was like, okay, well, I gotta stick to one thing.
I mean, hey, you gotta use those good looks for something, man. I mean, shit.
Well, I mean, I don't know how, but okay. I'm doing this random shit.
How do you how?
Exactly. How do you how?
You have 2 kids, 2 grandkids, but you're not old, just more life experience. I mean, that's fair. That's true.
That's right.
Maybe I just haven't given myself enough time to really spend figuring out TikTok, because like I've been on, for example, I've been on Instagram and I spend a lot of time on Instagram and I still don't fully understand it. I have put 0 effort into things that have blown up and massive effort into things that have gotten completely ignored. So whether it's using the hashtags or whether it's not, I learned recently that using less hashtags on Twitter is actually better for your algorithms because Twitter's broken.
Yeah,
that broke.
It's literally broken. Like if you tag people, like at them, it actually makes the algorithm work against you more often than not. So sometimes when you see me post, like I'm playing with this person, but I tag them in the picture, but not on the post, those do better than the ones that I do with like actually properly tagging people. So I feel like I've learned the way things worked, and then they've actively gone against that learning to just completely say, you know what? F you. That's it. All right, cool. Yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
Everyone, it has been my absolute pleasure to bring this podcast episode to you. It's been a lot longer. I intended to make these episodes shorter. That didn't happen today, but we will get better at that. Because
we honestly were trying.
We're literally. I'm going to take a quick break to bio break, get some snacks, get ready for the next part of today's stream, because we're going to be playing some Black Splinter Cell Blacklist. Not Black Splinter Cell. It is, but you know, whatever. You know what I mean.
Officially, the audio lover on TikTok. I don't know what I'm gonna do on there, but it's there now.
Okay, listen, you got to get yours. How come I could, man?
There you
This
go.
shit.
There you
All right.
I don't know. I'm it right now.
There you go.
I'm hurt. Anyway, thank you all so much, and I'll be seeing y'all very soon.
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
All right.